Yeah, say the market's tight, gripping, hold fast, charts be flipping and dip. Mainstream more than middle, traditionalists be tripping. Live stream crypto, he's sniping for help. Very risky, they shout, but he's playing the wealth. But this is his art, this is his game. He hits the go live and the coins they inflame. Check it, OG vault in effect, bringing the heat, what you expect. He's the master of memes, king of the stream. With every go live, he's building the dream. On the east side with beats that glide and a flow so sick, you think he defied. OG be click clack, candles be sticking, dropping them tips with the market prediction. And when he's on the mic, it's a crypto expedition, smacking down bears with sheer precision.
OG off the house, violate the track, violate the tracks. OG off the house, violate the trap, violate the trap, violate the tracks. Oh, violate the black. OG off the house. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house. Violate the tracks. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house.
Yeah, say the market's tight, gripping, hold fast. Charts be flipping and dipping. Mainstream more than middle, traditionalists be tripping. Live stream crypto, he's sniping for help. Very risky, they shout, but he's playing the wealth. But this is his art, the game. He hits the go live and the coins they inflame. Check it, OG vault in effect, bringing the heat, what you expect. He's the master of memes, king of the stream. With every go live, he's building the dream. On the east side with beats that glide and a flow so sick, you think he defied. OG be click clack, candles be sticking, dropping them tips with the market prediction. And when he's on the mic, it's a crypto expedition, smacking down bears with sheer precision.
OG off the house, violate the tracks, violate the tracks. OG off the house, violate the trap, violate the tracks. Oh, violate the black. OG off the house. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house. Violate the tracks. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house.
Yeah, say the market's tight, gripping, hold fast. Charts be flipping and dipping. Mainstream more than middle, traditionalists be tripping. Live stream crypto, he's sniping for help. Very risky, they shout, but he's playing the wealth. But this is his art, this is his game. He hits the go live and the coins they inflame. Check it, OG vault in effect, bringing the heat, what you expect. He's the master of memes, king of the stream. With every go live, he's building the dream. On the east side with beats that glide and a flow so sick, you think he defied. OG be click clack, candles be sticking, dropping them tips with the market prediction. And when he's on the mic, it's a crypto expedition, smacking down bears with sheer precision.
OG off the house, violate the tracks, violate the tracks. OG off the house, violate the trap, violate the tracks. Oh, violate the black. OG off the house. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house. Violate the tracks. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house.
Yeah, Say the market's tight, gripping, hold fast. Charts be flipping and dipping. Mainstream more than middle. Traditionalists be tripping. Live stream crypto, he's sniping for help. Very risky, they shout, but he's playing the wealth. But this is his art. This is his game. He hits the go live and the coins they inflame. Check it. OG Vault in effect. Bringing the heat, what you expect. He's the master of memes, king of the stream. With every go live, he's building the dream. On the east side with beats that glide and a flow so sick, you think he defied. OG be clicking, black candles be sticking, dropping them tips with the market prediction. And when he's on the mic, it's a crypto expedition, smacking down bears with sheer precision.
OG on the house, violate the track, violate the tracks. OG on the house, violate the trap, violate the trap, violate the tracks. OG violate the track, OG on the house. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house. Violate the tracks. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house.
Yeah. Say the market's tight, gripping, hold fast. Charts be flipping and dipping. Mainstream more than middle. Traditionalists be tripping. Live stream crypto, he's sniping for help. Very risky, they shout, but he's playing the wealth. But this is his art. This is his game. He hits the go live and the coins they inflame. Check it. OG Vault in effect. Bringing the heat, what you expect. He's the master of memes, king of the stream. With every go live, he's building the dream. On the east side with beats that glide and a flow so sick, you think he defied. OG be clicking, black candles be sticking, dropping them tips with the market prediction. And when he's on the mic, it's a crypto expedition, smacking down bears with sheer precision.
OG on the house, violate the tracks, violate the tracks. OG on the house, violate the trap, violate the tracks. OG violate the black flag. OG on the house. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house. Violate the tracks. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house.
Yeah. Say the market's tight, gripping, hold fast. Charts be flipping and dipping. Mainstream more than middle. Traditionalists be tripping. Live stream crypto, he's sniping for help. Very risky, they shout, but he's playing the wealth. But this is his art. This is his game. He hits the go live and the coins they inflame. Check it. OG Vault in effect. Bringing the heat, what you expect. He's the master of memes, king of the stream. With every go live, he's building the dream. On the east side with beats that glide and a flow so sick, you think he defied. OG be clicking, black candles be sticking, dropping them tips with the market prediction. And when he's on the mic, it's a crypto expedition, smacking down bears with sheer precision.
OG on the house, violate the tracks, violate the tracks. OG on the house, violate the trap, violate the tracks. OG violate the black flag. OG on the house. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house. Violate the tracks. Violate the tracks. OG walk in the house.
Yeah. Say the market's tight, gripping, hold fast. Charts be flipping and dipping. Mainstream more than middle. Traditionalists be tripping. Live stream crypto, he's sniping for help. Very risky, they shout, but he's playing the wealth. But this is his art. This is his game. He hits the go live and the coins they inflame. Check it. OG Vault in effect. Bringing the heat, what you expect. He's the master of memes, king of the stream. With every go live, he's building the dream. On the east side with beats that glide and a flow so sick, you think he defied. OG be click clack, candles be sticking, dropping them tips with the market prediction. And when he's on the mic, it's a crypto expedition, smacking down bears with sheer precision.
OG off the house. Violate the track. Violate the tracks. OG off the house. Violate the trap. Violate the tracks. Violate the track. OG off the house.
In the dark troubling night, when the moon's hanging low, there's a place where the wildest of tales start to grow. Me know the skeleton, with his phony grin, and Vault his co-host, let the stories begin. From the paranormal to the political scene, we dive into the unknown, if you know what I mean. Cryptocurrency madness, gaming world so vast. We're bringing you the future and echoes from the past. Tales from the crypto where the shadows come alive. Mo and Vault are your guides. Let's take a dive in the crypto secrets. We unravel the law. Hold on tight, 'cause we've got so much more. Whispers of ghosts in the halls of the old, haunted by the memories of stories untold. Political shadows.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tales from the Crypto. It's Tuesday night, time for our weekly show with me and MoKnowz. What's up, Mo?
What up, brother? What up, chat? Like we would say, see you next Tuesday. And guess what? It's next Tuesday. We're back. Tales from the Crypto. How's your week been, brother?
Not bad. It's been a long week. We got a long week of drops coming up on VeVe. A lot of good stuff happening. We're going to get into that when we talk about crypto. We got some paranormal stuff to talk about. Bigfoot, a lot of people have been requesting that. We got some good Bigfoot videos to get into. We're going to be talking about Project 2025 when we get into politics. And Mo's got a really cool Web3 game to show you guys too. And I was checking it out earlier. It looks like World of Warcraft, but a Web3 version. Mo's going to give you all the info on it for sure. How about your week, Mo? How's it been? Pretty good?
Yeah, chilling, man. Busy. Obviously, we had Foals Day last week with the new horses. You know, a bunch of new baby horses, learning how to race them and trying not to lose a lot of money. But yeah, man, now it's a new week and we're back, baby. You know, just looking forward to talking about some Bigfoot. And you know, normally we talk about Bigfoot. It's my own PFL barn, but yeah, dude, this is gonna be some pretty cool stuff. I'm looking forward to see what videos you put together.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion on Bigfoot. I know you're kind of into it. I saw Denny LC was talking about it in the chat, and I was like, I'm not necessarily a believer yet, but I'm like Denny LC. He says my thing is I don't not believe, and that's kind of where I sit on a lot of this stuff. I don't not believe.
That's the thing, man. Like, I feel like the second we just stop believing, is we just throw away all hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, if we don't believe in Bigfoot, then, you know, why brush my teeth, right? Like, why wipe my ass? Like, the world doesn't really matter. But no, seriously, I don't know. It's definitely a good topic, so I'm glad we're getting around to it.
Yeah, people have been requesting this topic, and like I said, I was not big into Bigfoot, but then when I start looking up at the videos, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I wouldn't say I was convinced, but I'm definitely leaning more towards maybe there's something out there, something real. Shout out to Big A's in the chat. Denny OC first in the chat. We got the Goat Slayer talking about Hulk 180. That was today's comic drop on VeVe. Hulk 181 drops on Thursday. Manga's dropping tomorrow for the first time ever. We're going to be going over some of the stuff happening in the VeVe community, good and bad. We got D Ramos here. What's up, D Ramos? Rob T in the house. Let's go. He's enjoying the intro. Yes, I like that intro a lot. It was created by Mo using AI, and it's pretty dope, I gotta be honest. All right, let's get in to some Bigfoot. I know a lot of people have been wanting to talk about Bigfoot on the channel, so I've got some stuff pulled up here for you, some videos, some Bigfoot videos. I went through many Bigfoot videos to pick out the best ones for you, and of course it'll start off with the most iconic Bigfoot video, which is the Patterson-Gimlin film. And whenever that one came out, and I'm sure you guys will recognize it, we'll look at that for a second, but when that came out, people decided to go back into history and look to see if there's other people that have been reporting Bigfoot sightings. And all the way back from the 1800s, people were reporting Bigfoot sightings. This is the Patterson-Gimlin film right here. It was filmed in October 1967 in Bluff Creek, California. These two guys were Bigfoot researchers. That's the only reason they were out there with a camera. So it's like all these people in the past have had sightings. One, cameras didn't exist back then, but two, who takes a camera with them hiking back in the day? Maybe today you might, but back then they didn't really do it. And so they were looking around in this place where there were a lot of Bigfoot sightings, and when they saw this creature pop up, their horse took off running in fear. They said that you can see that it has boobies. You see the boobies there? They say it's a female. They call her Patty. You can see the boobies hanging, right? I don't know. But apparently that's Bigfoot. So in 1994, there's this second footage that came out from a guy named Paul Freeman, and it was pretty good too. There's just a lot of good ones. This one's like one of the old school, one of the first ones, kind of like one of the biggest ones since Patterson-Gimlin, where people were like, all right, this guy actually sees something. And here's one from Michigan that I thought was really cool. So these guys were in a boat, and they see this thing crossing the water. We're going to show it a few times here. We're going to slow it down all the way to 25%. To me, it almost looks like, I would say, somebody holding a person on their back, or it could be like a Bigfoot carrying another, smaller Bigfoot, a little foot. I don't know, but it's in the river. It looks hairy. See, whenever you get the 25%, it doesn't look as much like one guy carrying another guy as it does at first. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. This one's in Ontario, Canada in 2023. You see the thing right there walking along as they're in their boat. They are filming the shore, and this big creature comes out of the woods, walks back into the woods. It's got that same classic Bigfoot walk, the Sasquatch walk. Check it out. I mean, you can tell by the way he's swinging his arm that either it's not a human or it's a human purposely pretending to look like a Bigfoot. All right, this next one is crazy. All right, this one's cool. This one's in Carbondale, Pennsylvania. These people are out in the woods, as you can see, and they see this, what they're calling an albino Bigfoot. Some people say it's a Yeti. It almost looks like one of those pale faces when we were looking at cryptids the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Check him out, dude. He's white.
That's creepy, bro.
Yeah, it's all white. But I mean, it was something that was sitting there in the forest. They heard the noise, so they went to investigate, and that's what they saw. This one's cool too. This one's from an actual eagle cam that they show at, let's see, this is from Platte River State Fish Hatchery, where they were showing the eggs of this eagle, waiting for them to hatch. It was live. And in the corner, top right corner, and you have it zoomed in the middle there, some Bigfoot type creature is seen lurking, going around the trees, doing his own thing. Here it is with the sound a little bit. I mean, it doesn't look like it would be a gorilla. I mean, it's in Michigan. We don't have gorillas in Michigan or in America at all running wild. So what the heck is it? And then also there's this guy who does videos on his ATV. He has a lot of cool videos. He goes all around the country filming himself on the ATV, and in this particular case, he's riding it, they're filming it, and then he sees a creature that looks like a Bigfoot walking across the stream, and you can see him get up and point at it. We're going to run it back and zoom it in a little bit. He's freaking out, but he's not freaking out so much that he's running away. However, he does stop and point at it, so I thought that one was pretty convincing. And people ask, like, if there's Bigfoots, then why are there no baby Bigfoots? Well, this was just released 2 days ago. This was 2 days ago.
Maybe they just come out full size.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just bam, right to size.
You would think so, but actually, here's a baby Bigfoot that was just taken pictures of 2 days ago. A guy that was out there looking at deer, taking pictures of deer, and he caught a picture of this thing. Now, is that an
Oh, dear.
actor? Look how big his hand is. That's what I thought was really interesting. I mean, if that's a costume, that's Hollywood grade level right there. All right, so
I mean, that's Hollywood grade level, like Wizard of Oz shit back in like 1950 something. But
it does.
I mean, is that really Hollywood quality these days, or is that just some grizzly ass mofo in the woods? That, oof.
Who would dress their kid up like that? I mean, I don't know. I guess it could happen. But all right, I got a special one for you today. This is the last video. This one keeps coming up as a Sasquatch, although I don't see why it's a Sasquatch. But the guy in the video is really funny. All right, you got to watch it because it's creepy and it's also kind of funny. So this is some guy on the side of the road, and he sees this thing with these glowing eyes. So he tries to start filming it. And you saw it just peek its head down.
Keep dunking down for, damn it.
I'll let him narrate. He's good. So he's trying to figure out what it is. He's trying to catch it on camera again.
You don't like that light, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, no shot. I'm out. Like, the guy on the fucking in the stream was different.
Oh, wait. Bro, wait till he runs up on it. He's going to go run and try to catch it. This dude's crazy.
Yeah, no, normal human beings do not act like this.
There's his head again. You can barely see it that time. It's right there.
They're playing hide and seek and shit.
Yeah,
Peekaboo
what
with the fucking
the hell is
Sasquatch.
Out in the middle of the woods.
Nobody goes out in the middle of the night to play peekaboo with Sasquatch.
That's
If
what
you
I'm
see
saying.
that shit in the middle of the night, you're gone.
Damn, I
You
wish I
are
put the battery
freaking
in
gone.
that
I'm
damn,
sorry. But daytime, middle of the stream, like the last guy, that made sense.
So he
Because
does
most
that.
ATVs are rated to outrun a
Don't do this at
Bigfoot.
home.
He's going to run after it.
This guy's psychotic.
He keeps saying, don't try this at home. Watch.
Paid actor. This is also what's wrong with society nowadays.
You ain't wrong.
Think of the views. Think of the views. It's like, bro, think of your
Right
life,
over here.
man.
Don't
If you're
ever
fucking
do
dead,
this.
you can't post nothing.
Don't ever do this. Now watch, he's going to catch it. It's
Play
going to be right up
Angry
on him.
Right off. And all this. Turn around. Let the camera see it.
He's looking for it. He's about to find it too.
Oh, that was a rock.
We threw a rock at him. There it is.
Oh, shit.
He said, I'm out.
He's behind me there.
So
Yeah,
there you
no,
have it,
that's-
folks. That was some of the
that's
best
all.
Bigfoot footage that I could find. Mo, what do you think about Bigfoot?
That is all bad news. I don't know, man. Like, is there a possibility that some human, fucked the gorilla one day and then created some sort of hybrid, or where Sasquatch is just some broke ass people that lost their way in life and they can't afford a good shave? I mean, who the hell knows? But they're definitely these videos. I mean, listen, I feel like when you see like the UFO stuff, it's always like, okay, yeah, it's got these weird effects or what. I don't know. These look pretty damn clear to me. So again, either it's really good, prosthetics and good costumes or whatever, but then again, some of it seems too convenient. I don't know. Like the egg video, it's like he never really left the camera view, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's probably people playing pranks, but if you think about it, if they really existed, there was like this whole separate set of animals that were like the Bigfoot type animals, these Sasquatches. Wouldn't you eventually run across the dead body? Or like, are they burying their own? They've been around this long. It's hard for me to believe.
well, the lore of the Sasquatch is that anytime a Sasquatch dies, there's actually like a honing device that goes off. And every other Sasquatch in the tri-state area will run and it will burn the body.
In the tri-state
Therefore-
area?
In the tri-state area, yeah.
Oh, of course. Do they have Bigfoot sightings in New York?
Again, only at my house growing up, 'cause that was the name of my amusement park that my dad created, was Bigfoot Park.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, Bigfoot for me was always like a running joke, growing up, and even today with my barn and everything like that. But as far as like the actual, the thing itself, again, I feel like if, like you said, we would have found a dead body, there would have been a little bit more of like for instance, there would be like the Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade going on, and it'd be like, and live on the scene. Looks like there's a wandering Sasquatch just found its way here down onto Main Street. Like some random ass shit would have happened like that, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. But I
Everything's
mean,
too controlled and like just, you know?
I believe
I
in
like to
UFOs,
believe.
so it's hard for me not to believe in Bigfoot too.
Hey, I believe in all this stuff, man. Like, I'd like to believe that it exists, you know? And if people don't want to believe it, then hey, you know, that's up to them.
Like Denny OC said, my thing is I don't not believe. Shout out to Kryptonies in the chat. Let's go. We got a lot of homies in the chat. Kryptoni says I almost lost my whole mind when I looked at my Todd and the FA tag was gone. We're gonna talk about that when we get to the crypto
That's a thing?
section. All the FA tags disappeared from all the DC collectibles on VeVe today.
Wow.
Yeah. What's up, Thanu? Thanu's in the house. He says, your opinion on today's drop got a common 888. You got the 888. Congratulations. Also common mint 1969. I don't know if 1969 is an important serial number for that comic, but 888 definitely more than floor price. I don't know. What are those prices looking like? It was Hulk 180. Is not necessarily the first appearance of Wolverine, but he does make a cameo, and then 181 is technically the first appearance of Wolverine, so 180 has some value. And you got the 888. I would think like a hundo, maybe 100, maybe more. I don't know. I gotta see what
Cold
those.
Benji? Cold Benjamin?
Yeah, a good old Benji
Wow.
right there.
Damn.
Daniel says Todd Standing has the best footage. I was trying to find the name that you kept telling me, and Todd Standing was the name I was looking for. I couldn't find it, and I went back and looked at the comments of our last video to see if who posted that, because I couldn't remember who told me the channel to check out, and I have to check that out tonight. Yeah, we saw that baby Sasquatch. That one looked real to me. What's up, Alejandro? Let's go. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. Tina Turner. Now, come on. It didn't look like no Tina Turner.
Yeah.
He was eating some of that forest fungi. I don't know what the freaking guy... That last one, it didn't look like a Sasquatch, but there was definitely something out there. I don't feel like that was a prank. I feel like that dude was being stalked or something. There's a lot of other good ones that I didn't add. I didn't want to make the video too long, but if you do a little research on it, you're going to find lots of good Bigfoot videos. Now, are they real? That's kind of the real question. We got Super Duper Hank in the house. What's up, Hank? We're going over some Bigfoot footage.
Isn't that the fun of life, though, honestly? Just break it down for a minute. Like, who gives a shit? Like, if people believe that, you know, Bigfoot's real, Bigfoot's not real, like, it's not anything that really affects our day-to-day lives. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool to be like, hey, you know, you see this video, and the other guy's like, you're an asshole. I don't want to see that. You know? The fact, it's something so trivial, but it's funny. It's funny to discuss, you know?
It's kind of like the first thing that I ever got into, which was the Loch Ness Monster when I was a kid. It was did not affect me whatsoever. It was all the way on the other side of the world. But for some reason, I wouldn't say I was convinced, but I watched several documentaries about the Loch Ness Monster, and I was like, that thing's real. These days, though, I don't believe it so much. Super Duper Hank says, next week we could do the Mandela effect. Me and Mo were talking about what paranormal topic we're going to talk about next week. How do you feel about the Mandela effect? I'm really not moved by it. I feel like it's just... I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's, like, real. I don't know. What do you think about the Mandela effect, Mo?
You know, I tended to talk too much about shit I don't know much about. So we can look at, you know, we can talk about it next week if you want, but that's not really something I...
So it's like, for example, though, here's one of my favorite ones, because this one I'm kind of Mandela affected on it, is that the Monopoly guy is wearing a monocle. But if you actually go look at the Monopoly guy, you know, everybody thinks Monopoly guy, monocle, top hat. He actually never wore a monocle. Or at least in this dimension he didn't. So the Mandela effect would say...
Oh, that's like, okay, so you're talking about like how the way your brain will oddly fill in like certain things.
Exactly.
That's the Mandela effect? Okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know any like specifics or examples like the Monopoly guy, but
There's some
that's
good
something
ones.
that'd be cool.
Berenstain Bears always got me too, because I read that book as a kid. Bro Ooh coin in the house. What's up, Bro Ooh? Says, are we millionaires yet? Not if you're buying the Bro Ooh coin. I mean, I still got some Bro Ooh, but it doesn't seem to be taking off. We haven't done any marketing on that. Daniel C says he was trying to get big classed as an endangered species. You talking about Bigfoot? It's just missed memory, but I do remember that Berenstain Bears. I know the Berenstain Bears one gets me. I'm not gonna lie. The Monopoly guy wearing a monocle, yeah. And also the Britney Spears had an earpiece in during the video. I thought I remembered her wearing an earpiece, but apparently not. All right, let's get into our next
Yeah,
topic.
that'll be something to break down for sure.
Yeah, we could check it out. There's a lot of good videos with it about Mandela effect out there. All right, for our world news topic, we didn't really have a lot of world news to talk about this week. The only thing that really was happening in the world that I thought was worth mentioning was, I think it was France ended up electing their left-leaning presidential candidate, and it was a big upset. They expected the right-leaning candidate to win, and it wasn't just France. I think Britain also went really far left. So people on Twitter and my politics feed is all talking about how everybody in the world's going left now, and they're of course hoping that America does the same. Fox News put out this poll from the YouGov survey from people around the world asking what they think the greatest threat to world peace is, and President Trump is at the lead at 41%. People like Putin, 8%. Xi Jinping, the Chinese, I don't know, are they president or prime minister? The guy who's the leader of China, only 7%. Kim Jong-un, 17%. President Trump, 41%. What do you think about that, Mo? Is that legit? You think he's the greatest threat to world peace by a lot?
Well, I think when the USA is a quote unquote superpower of the world, and you're on top, people always want to take you down. So, it doesn't really surprise me that whoever the US official on top would have been there would have been number one. And I think that the other people's percentages are low because of the United States and our ability to not only defend ourselves, but the rest of this fucking world that relies on us. So, but I do think I don't want to say it's alarming. I mean, it's telling is probably a better word to use. It's like I said, bro, Trump treats this fucking country like a businessman. And at the end of the day, you gotta, because as a country, we're falling apart, and when a business is falling apart, you call in like John Tapper. If your bar can't make it, you bring in Tapper, you have him redo the shit. And to me, that's what I felt like Trump was doing. You know what I mean? I feel like Biden's just another whatever. I would prefer RFK Jr. In the current state of the world, but
I kind of would prefer RFK Jr. right now. Also, the way that Biden had performed at the debate really had me worried. But with
so
Trump saying that he should be running the business, he's like the worst businessman in history. He's lost more money than literally anybody else in history. Every business he ever started has went bankrupt.
Long term, yes, but short term, he'll flip money into money, and again, that's what we got to do, bro. The businesses can't stay afloat forever, bro.
I think if he was actually flipping money and making as much money as he says, he would show his taxes and show his financial reports, but he keeps it all hidden because, I mean, if you really look into it, there was a time when he only had like people estimate less than $5 million, and then he like bribed the guy from Forbes magazine to put him in the world's richest 10 people or something, and then he took that magazine and he used that as collateral to get a bank loan, saying, look, this right here proves that I have all this money that he didn't actually have. And then of course he forfeited on that bank loan, and as he did every bank loan, he wasn't even allowed to get loans from banks in America anymore because he forfeited on so many of them. I mean, don't get me started on Trump. I don't know. Let's get to the chat. Rob T says South Africa won the 1995 Rugby World Cup. What's rugby? Rugby is actually kind of fun to watch, although I don't know nothing about it.
Oh, hell no. Fuck that rugby shit.
You don't like rugby?
Football, no. Football, and that's pretty much hockey. Although I will tell you, you'll probably appreciate this. So I was down the rabbit hole on YouTube earlier today, and it said like Jordan schools Kobe, in the final NBA All-Star game. It was like the '98 All-Star game, whatever.
Yeah.
So I watched it. It was like 18 minutes long, dude. It was so cool, so freaking cool, man. And as I always appreciated Kobe even when he first came into the league, and it didn't surprise me later on with his Mamba mentality and stuff like that. Just the way he attacks everything in life was crazy,
Yeah.
But watching him go toe-to-toe with Jordan and try to push Jordan, and Jordan had like the flu or something, like, bro, what a time to be alive, man. What a freaking time to be alive. Like that was some shit, bro. Watching like other people lift each other like in real ways. Not this weird ass shit that goes on nowadays. Like, your feelings are valid. I understand you. Like, motherfucker just said 3 + 3 is like 9. But feelings are valid. Don't want to hurt people's feelings. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it was just so cool to sit down and see like a little taste of the 90s again, and kind of. I would love to go back.
The thing I liked about the 90s NBA was that none of these players, like hardly ever went to super teams for sure, but they pretty much stayed
Well,
with the team that drafted them. They had loyalty, and it was like, if this team isn't good and you drafted me, I'm not going to go to a good team so I can win a championship. I'm going to make this team good, and I'm going to just get better and better. That's kind of what drove Kobe, what drove Jordan, what drove my man Reggie Miller. They stuck around and they stayed loyal, and our players don't do that anymore.
Well, because back, because the max contracts got crazy, right?
Yeah.
And even nowadays, it's like, well, I'm sorry, back then rather, you would have certain players would move like at the twilight of their career.
Right.
Remember when like Sean Kemp played for the Cavs?
Barely, yeah.
Barely, but I'm saying, or Pippen went to like fucking Houston. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, these things will happen at the twilight of their career, but not like today.
Yeah,
that's why again I always respected the fuck out of Reggie Miller, man.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my favorite.
Reggie Miller had to go through the Knicks. He had to go through the Jordan era. He had to go through the Shaq and the Hardaway era. He had to go through. He wasn't around for the Pistons. That was too early.
Well, he was in the finals against Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, and he lasted exactly. He outlasted even to that long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like every time he tried to make it to the finals with him, Rick Smits, they had quite a few guys on the Pacers, man, that were pretty fucking scary.
Yeah,
but different world, bro. Different game, different world. It was so cool.
They pretty much, he said that he expected to win the championship. Like one of his last years, they had Jermaine O'Neal and Ron Artest, and then the Malice at the Palace happened, and it just destroyed everything. Yes. And he just retired after that. He was like, we ain't coming back from that.
Right, that was right. That was after like Ewing was gone, Olajuwon was gone, right? Like that's after those guys had just gotten out of his way.
Yep.
Holy shit, that sucks.
Shout out to
Greedy
Greedy
Ones
in the
chat. For the Utah Jazz too.
What's that?
The Utah Jazz. I always felt bad for them.
Malone and Stockton.
Yeah, even though Malone's a freaking weirdo.
He is a weirdo, but if they would have got like one-third good player,
shit, man.
they could have won some championships.
Who, the Jazz?
Yeah, if they would have got just one more scorer. They needed another scorer.
Yeah, I mean it was Karl Malone, Stockton, and fucking Hornacek, the other white guy, the other white meat.
Yep.
Outside of that, they had what? Russell? What was his name? Byron? No, it was
Byron Russell.
Yeah, they had him towards the end, and that was actually the finals. I watched that after the Kobe thing. That was the '98 finals when that was Jordan's last game as a Bull at the repeat.
Yeah.
Yep. So. All right, we're going down to. No, we got a sports section now this week, guys. This is nice.
They had some tough competition, and if we're talking about sports, what do you think about LeBron James Jr. getting drafted by the Lakers and getting a, I think, $8 million deal or a $6 million deal?
Well, if his name wasn't Bronny James, he ain't getting drafted by nobody. Let's just get that out of the way. Because me and you might beat that motherfucker one-on-one. However,
slow down.
I think it's one of the coolest things in the world that it was a thought that LeBron might be able to throw a pass to his kid one day or get an assist to his kid or vice versa. But now it's going to happen. And to me, that's like one of the coolest fucking storylines ever. Ever.
Really cool. I saw a picture the other day. It was like when he was really young, LeBron James, after he'd won a game, and he has Bronny James in his arms, and Bronny James is a 1-year-old, maybe 2 years old.
Yep.
It's crazy. Yep. And now they're on the same team. All right, let me catch up with the chat. Stan says, what was the sample size? I didn't really look into this. I just noticed that it was on Fox News. The poll we have right up here above my head, which I thought was interesting. Usually Fox News is very, I don't know, maybe they're not so much pro-Trump anymore. He's kind of anti-Fox News. Bro Ooh says, we're stronger than ever. The Bro Ooh coin? I don't know about that, bro. Somebody was in the Telegram asking about it the other day. I mean, if we can do some marketing, maybe we can get that thing going again. Jenny OC's got a friend that plays rugby. They don't even have rugby in this country. Played for 25 years, not girls rugby. Oh, not gonna lie, girls rugby is insane. I would watch that. Probably some beasts, some big girls, but I would still watch it. Curry, talk about Steph Curry. Rob T says, I was at the 96 NBA draft with Kobe Iverson. Oh, that was like the best draft ever. And someone may have had a glass piece used in the upper deck. Someone may have had a glass piece used in the upper deck. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but that was a crazy draft. It was Ray Allen, lots of good players in that draft. Greedy says it was nice to see Terrence Howard get owned on Joe Rogan. Did you watch that?
Oh, no spoilers. I have not seen that. That was the other day, right? Like,
yes.
I saw it on YouTube too. Gotta watch it.
Yeah,
I gotta watch it.
was on there. I guess I won't spoil it for you, but that was some good stuff. It was interesting. Curry
Good
and
job.
Draymond. I heard they Warriors traded what's his name? Clay Thompson. He's gone. Rob T says we should add a sports section. I don't know. Are you big into sports, Mo?
Fuck yeah, dude. Sports is like majority of my life outside of like gaming and crypto shit.
Yeah, see, I was big into sports, especially football when I was in college. But then after college, I cut the cord. I got rid of cable completely and just lived off of Netflix and YouTube and Hulu. So I stopped watching sports events. But now my kid is big into NBA now. We went to several of the Pacers games last year. NBA is mostly what I watch now, but you know, I'm all about sports. I've always played sports all my life. Daniel C says, speaking of NBA Top Shot lawsuit, is that for real? It is for real. I don't have my Twitter pulled up. I posted a tweet about it, a retweet, where somebody was talking about this class action lawsuit against NBA Top Shot, and how what they were saying was, don't apply for it because it's like 8 cents per moment that you purchase. They're called NBA Top Shot moments instead of NFTs, but you get 8 cents for every moment that you purchased from 2021 to 2023, and I probably purchased hundreds. However, his point that he was making was that this is just a settlement. They're trying to get people out for cheap so that whenever the bigger settlements come along later, you're no longer allowed to claim for those. So his idea was to not get your 8 cents per moment from this class action lawsuit and wait for the next class action lawsuit. What worries me is, what does it mean for VeVe? Because what they're being sued for kind of applies to VeVe too. So, kind of scary.
What, the security issue?
I'd have to look into it more, but it was about it being securities. I have to get into it. I can't remember exactly what it was. I saw it like last week. Don't use drugs at the draft. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. We got Bruin88 in the chat. What's up, Bruin88? I remember coming home one day, shared apartment with 2 girls. Marina Del Rey, Sean Kemp was sitting on the couch. Wait, what? First off, Sean Kemp was there with your girl? Second of all, did you get his autograph? That's pretty dope. I like Sean Kemp a lot. I actually just watched a documentary about Sean Kemp and Gary Payton last week, and the Seattle Supersonics. They were dope, and I like Sean Kemp a lot. I'm surprised he has such a short career. Stan says, does David know Banksy? Banksy is anonymous, so we wouldn't know. Bro says, you're a Caitlin Clark fan now? Caitlin Clark was actually at the game when we went to the Knicks game, the playoff game, Game 3. They showed her. She was in the building watching the game. I was in the same building as Caitlin Clark. I don't know why I'm bragging about that, but for some reason I feel like it's worth bragging about.
Bro, WNBA is a joke. Always has been. But I tell you right now, the same way when I first saw Jordan, when I saw LeBron on the court, when I saw her playing for the first time, that's some special shit.
I don't know. I like Angel Reese more. Maybe because Angel Reese is hot. Do you know who she is?
Yeah, the black chick that plays on, it's like Charlotte or something. I don't know what fucking team she plays on, but
she's hot and she's good. She's like averaging a double-double or something. She might be Rookie of the Year over Caitlin Clark, they're saying. Their stats are pretty similar. But yeah, Caitlin Clark is wild.
I tell, she's more like aggressive, more like maybe even like a Kobe-ish type of player, which ain't nothing wrong with that, obviously.
Right.
But I feel like Caitlin Clark is like the Jordan who will pass it if necessary at the final moment. Whereas I feel like just, again, short, research of both of these players and seeing both of them talk, I don't like Angel Reese. I think she's a fucking ghetto fucking broad, but whatever. That's just my take on her. I don't like her.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think Caitlin Clark's more of a Steph Curry type than a Jordan type, but I haven't really watched enough to know for sure.
I'm just saying like a just revolutionary fucking player, just like once in a lifetime player.
Oh, that's what Rob T meant. At the 96 NBA draft, they moved it to a new location. People were hitting the glass pieces in the upper level. Glass pieces of what? Oh, okay. So the legal stuff. Okay, just in case, I was kind of worried they were hitting the glass piece on some crack or something. It was the 90s, bro. That was big back then. If it was just weed, though, ain't nothing wrong with that. Greedy One says, underrated player, Chris Mullin. Yeah, my kid likes Chris Mullin. Even though Mullin retired before my kid was even born. We play with NBA Top Shot. Not NBA, we play NBA 2K on Xbox, and he uses Chris Mullin and scores on me all the time. He's a big fan. That Top Shot NFTs constituted illegally offered securities. That's why I worry that it could also apply to VeVe. But I'd have to look into the specifics. Shout out to Ben Wallace from Malice at the Palace. Bro, I was watching that live. I was watching the game live when that happened. I was in college. I was like, what the heck? I remember switching to like CNN. I was like, CNN and stuff's got to be talking about this. This is crazy. And they did end up talking about it. Juju will upgrade the WNBA Juju. Was
Juju Schuster. I mean, as far as like the top shot, because I guess according to what it is, right? Yeah, that's exactly according to the Howie test, right? Which like you can apply to pretty much anything. If there was an investment of money, if it was in a common enterprise, if it was with a reasonable expectation of profit derived solely by the promotional or managerial efforts of others, at the outset of the conclusion of its decision, the court emphasized significance of the flow blockchain and flow tokens to the Howie analysis. So, you know, they're saying that everything that you would match it up against and say, like, is a spade, it is, you know? So, yeah, I guess that would touch on VeVe and probably a lot of other shit that a lot of us play with on a daily basis.
Yeah, kind of worries a little bit. But then again, if they have a class action lawsuit, maybe we'll get paid. All right, works for me. I don't know. Jordan and the whole Bulls team fouled Charles Smith. Was at that game. Charles Smith? I don't know who that is. Sounds familiar, though. Bro says, don't do drugs. Define drugs. Brunetti says, stayed friends with Dina. She moved to New York. She came back to visit. Stayed at my own place as friends. Got drunk last night, and she was there and got busy. Bruin88. Who's Dina?
Damn.
What's going on with Bruin88?
Bruin getting down.
Changed his name to Bruin69. Let's go. C-Spill says Juju is a USC women's NCAA player. Interesting. I've not heard of Juju. I thought Caitlin Clark was going to be the one that takes the WNBA to the next level, but apparently there's other stars coming up through the college ranks right now. Caitlin versus Reese reminds me of Bird versus Magic. I agree with that. I like how Angel Reese wears the Joker shoes. She's the villain. Everybody calls her the villain. So she's like, all right, I'll be a villain then. Stan says, Omi,
yeah, I don't know. It's just...
Omi is also in violation. Bro says, Angel Reese is a dude. Bro, Angel Reese is a lot hotter than Caitlin Clark, bro. Have you seen her? I don't know. Who's
glad we're not having that conversation soon. But we will if Tales from the Crypto stays on the air for, what, maybe 10 years, 15 years? We will have some crazy things to be like, first dude drafted to the WNBA last night.
I don't see that happening, but I could see a woman going into the NBA. They showed footage of this girl in China. I think she was 12 years old, but she's already like 7 foot tall or something, and it looked like she was playing with kids, and she was playing with people her own age.
Yeah, but one person, like, you know, if it was that easy, women would have already been trying to play with men. Because I think NBA, like basketball, probably is a sport where you could get away with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, me and my kid were having that conversation. He was like, can a woman play in the NBA? He said no, and I was like, yeah, they can if they were good enough. It's just that they're not good enough. And he's like, Caitlin Clark's good enough. And I was like, no, she's a good shooter, but whoever she's guarding can just back her down, take her to the hole, and post her up every turn. I mean, she would have no defense in the NBA. It'd have to be a big girl.
Well, I mean, you can also double down in the post. I mean, you can rotate D, you can pinch from the top. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do. And I love basketball. Actually, I love the strategy of basketball, but I can't watch modern ball. Well, you know what? Modern ball isn't too bad, but there was a period, I guess, like, I don't know, mid-2000s and later. After, like, the Eurostep and everything became popular and all these travels and shit, I couldn't watch the game anymore. Just couldn't do it.
The traveling has gotten ridiculous. They never call traveling. I see people take, like, 5 freaking steps and they won't call it. It's wild to me.
Yeah, and like I said, it all started with like, oh, let's introduce like the Euro step, and that was like,
I mean, Euro step's legit, but you can't Euro step all the way down the court.
No, exactly. That's the same. But they're like, oh, well, it's part of this move. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go into this, and then he could transition to that. It's like, no, well, he fucking traveled. Like, if you don't dribble as you're moving, that's a violation, right? Like,
yeah, some of those step backs they do are travels too.
Oh, the dragging the foot and all that bullshit. Yep. Hey, you know, it's just to create space. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right. Illegally. Stan says, are there any updates on Bitforex? I've not heard any updates. I think if you had Omi on Bitforex, you can kiss that Omi goodbye. But I could be wrong. Maybe something will happen. Last I heard they were searching for the guy who was running Bitforex. I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But they were looking for him in Hong Kong, I believe. All right, let's get into our U.S. politics topic for today. Today we're going to be talking about Project 2025. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. It's been in the news a lot lately. I think Donald Trump had just put out a tweet, but not a tweet, a truth on his own Twitter, which is called Truth Social, saying that he doesn't know anything about Project 2025, which is kind of ridiculous, and I'll show you why. But first off, some of the stuff that Project 2025 aims to do, and I know it's kind of small font, it might be bigger on your all's screen, but here's a few of the things. I don't even know if I can go through and read them from where I'm at. But on climate change, I mean, you can probably assume, you wouldn't even have to read it to know what they're trying to do. Of course, they're going to be trying to get the oil companies more money and getting rid of any type of green energy. I think Trump said the other day that you can't have green energy on airplanes, because you can't have solar energy on airplanes, because what if it's not sunny that day? It's like, bro, that's not how that works. The energy is stored in batteries, man. It doesn't matter what the weather is out there. He has no clue what he's talking about. Abortion, they're going to, of course, try to outlaw abortion. They've already got rid of Roe v. Wade using Trump's Supreme Court justices. I think he appointed 3 of them during his term. Let's see, a few other things.
You also saw a video of Biden.
Which one?
From like the 90s, maybe-ish. He had hair, shit. Not much. But, and he said that the first thing he was going to do was appoint 3 Supreme Court justices to do some crazy shit. He did this thing right on interview. It was like after the Clinton election stuff. Or he was going to run or whatever, when he was supposed to run. But anyway, the video surfaced. I was trying to find it on my Twitter feed, but if anybody knows of that video, please send it to me.
That would be interesting to hear. I wouldn't be surprised if you did say that.
I just thought it was comical again, because exactly, you know what I'm saying, what Trump did, but like, and watching fucking Biden talk back then too was crazy. It was like, that's the same guy. But then again, I mean, listen to anybody talk, you know. But
Sorry, I had you muted on accident.
oh, hey.
Tell us again about the Joe Biden video.
Oh, I was just saying that I saw a video on Twitter about Biden talking around the time of the Clinton election, where he was like, yeah, and I'm going to run, and I'm going to just, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices to make some changes that I want, or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's fucking ironic. It was like from the 90s. If anybody knows the video I'm talking about, Biden had hair, but it was, you know, thinning. But it was just a comical video.
Rob thinks I muted you because you were talking trash about talking trash about Joe Biden. I'm not a Joe Biden fan. He can talk trash about Biden all he wants.
I'm not a Biden hater.
I'm not a Biden hater either. I mean, if it comes down to it, that's who I have to vote for, because you only got 2 choices, basically. I would like RFK to be an actual choice, but we know he's not going to win, and if you vote for him, then the person you were going to vote for gets 1 less vote, and the person you don't want to win gets 1 extra vote. So,
can I make an argument for that?
Yes.
In the type of election system that we have here, right?
Yeah.
Where popular vote doesn't really matter. So, me being from a blue state, right, in New York, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Voting for Trump does nothing for me anyway, right? So, couldn't I, in theory, just pray that enough people would go to RFK Jr. and somehow still, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter what I do. Like, I voted for Biden, and I voted for Trump against Hillary. Like, it doesn't really fucking matter what I do here, you know?
That's
So,
actually a really good point. It could be like a statement vote, and enough people in these states like ours that don't matter, because we already know which way they're going to go. You vote for a third party, and if enough people do it, they'll start to realize that a third party candidate does have a chance. So,
right, exactly. What if one state?
Yeah.
What if he won one state, right, with the electoral fucking college votes, and then exactly, like, maybe not 2024, but 2028? They're like, so you're telling me there's a chance, right?
Exactly.
And if you remember, you know, we talked about it a while back. You know, earlier on, right? It was Democrat Republicans were the same party, and it was the Federalists on the other side. And then it became that point where they wanted to split because they started to have different, you know, ideologies and stuff like that. So that's why we wound up getting that system, and then it wound up running out the Federalists at that point because they just weren't a popular choice,
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So it very well could happen again. Now, I told people for the past 20-something years, it's going to be the marijuana reform party. I don't truly believe that. But there was a point where I was always going into the voting booth or whatever, and I would just go, marijuana reform, and whoever was on the Green Party, boom, just vote for him. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I did that for a long time, man.
Biden's been talking about that lately, that he wants to legalize marijuana federally, but
What does it matter? Like, okay, wow. So Marlboro can make Marlboro greens and have
Yeah.
fucking weed. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense, but
Why not? I would love it. I mean, I'm not gonna say I would love, but yeah, I would love if they did that. I mean, when I went to California for decon, I could not believe it that they would. Not only was weed legal, they delivered it to my hotel room. I was like, this.
yeah,
Is...
it's like that here now too, and it's getting like that all over the place. But you know what though? You're right though, because since I was actually in that area, and remember, I actually drove through multiple states with like 4 fucking oil pens on me, which was crazy illegal. I was found out later on. Yeah, I guess that would make sense for those types of areas if it was federal. Yeah.
All right, let's look at some of the agenda for Project 2025. I see what you just said there, Bruin 88. I did not research that. I forgot about that. Can you explain to me why they have the same voice? Apparently, Kennedy and his sister, because I knew Kennedy had that messed up vocal cords, but apparently his sister does too. So why would they both have that? Is it genetic? If you know, let me know.
Genetics.
So here's a few things that they're trying to do. Eliminate no-fault divorce. I don't know. Mo, do you think a woman should be allowed to divorce their husband if they don't like him?
Sure, I think everybody should be able to, make whatever choice they want, but they should also have to deal with the consequence.
What's the consequences?
Well, the consequence is if you're married and let's just say you marry somebody and someone else gives up their life and their job and everything to take care of like your kids and shit like that, that person should not, like, they get tossed to the curb and get nothing. Like, that's bullshit. Even though that's not normally how it goes down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying,
if you make them stay married, though, then you're just going to have one person that's, like, cheating on the other person.
I'm not saying you have to stay married.
Right.
I'm saying you get divorced, but don't be surprised when the consequences are you're divorced. Now you have to give 1/3 of your fucking assets to this person because this person fucking gave up their life and dedicated it to fucking help you, whether it be, like, maybe in your business. And most of the time, it's like the women, stop working for the guy, but there are instances in the other way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, people should be free to do whatever the fuck they want, but they have to be able to go with the consequences. So yeah, if you want to get divorced and you're in an unhappy marriage, get divorced. If you want to blame religion and says my religion says I can't get divorced, well then you're fucking brainwashed, pal. Sorry.
All right, here's a few more. Let's see what you think about these. One of them is, where was that? This is kind of small. Banning Muslims from entering the country. Do you think Muslims should be banned from entering? I mean, even if somebody's
Again,
a Muslim,
if they didn't do anything wrong,
right?
Then they should not be banned. Like, why can't people have a clean slate? I meet you for the first time. If I automatically assume you're a piece of shit based on your skin color or where you come from, like, then I'm a piece of shit. No, they shouldn't be banned. But if they have records and criminal records and stuff in their own country, hell no, they shouldn't be able to come here.
Right, but it shouldn't have anything to do with religion, mainly because even if somebody was Muslim, they could just say they're not Muslim. That's not like something that you can prove. It just makes no sense. Let's see. There's a lot of crazy stuff in here. And like I said, Trump says that he doesn't know anything about it. I'll get into why that's fake news. But here's another one. This one was annoying to me. And this is one a lot of people have been talking about. But basically, the Project 2025 would state that employers don't have to pay you for overtime. So they can make you work overtime and not pay you for it. I don't know if they can not pay you, but not pay you extra for it, I think is what it is.
Not pay you extra, correct.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that at all. What do you think, Mo?
So here's the deal about me, okay? I much prefer my time than money, okay?
Yeah.
So every job I've ever had, I lay it out on the table. I say, first of all, I don't work Sundays. That's the day of, and they usually think it's church related, and I don't deny it, but it's football related. But I also tell them I don't work overtime. If you hire me to work 40 hours a week, I'm going to work 40 hours a week. If you hire me to work 32, I'm going to work 32.
Right.
If there's an emergency, I'm not an asshole. You know what I mean? But don't expect me, like, because I've worked jobs like, oh, we have guaranteed overtime. And I'm like, well, I guarantee I'm not taking this fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because for me, bro, like, I don't know. I have things that I do outside of my work that make me money as well. I've always have. I just like to be a creative guy. But yeah, I don't do overtime. So
sometimes they pay you double time for overtime.
Yeah,
that
double time, triple time. Yeah. But listen, like I said, I'm not saying there's anything wrong for people that want to do it. I just never do it. But however, if you are going to do it, I think they should be paid more than their normal wage.
And that's, I think, required by law. But if Project 2025 came into effect, then it would no longer be required by law. So if you didn't work your overtime, even though you're not getting paid extra, you could get fired for it. So
correct.
That's kind of messed up.
I mean, Project 2025 could reform pretty much the entire fucking structure of the government if you really start breaking it down enough. I don't know if we have enough time on this show.
I know we don't, because there are a lot of different
builds,
areas.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but it builds upon the thing from the 80s. Shit. There was something they started in the early 80s. They were basically trying to prepare for Reagan. So they put together like almost like a blueprint of like things of like what should be happening. So they're basically trying to say that they're building upon that, which is like almost like, again, like a restructuring of the entire fucking government.
Yeah,
Crazy.
they want to give more power to the executive branch, so they want the president to pretty much be a king, and that has a lot to do with that Supreme Court decision that they made a couple weeks ago, saying that the president can't be charged for any crimes that he committed that were part of his duty, or somehow it was, while he was president. So you can see here from the Wikipedia page about Project 2025 that it's known as the Presidential Transition Project. And keep in mind, it's called Project 2025. So who would be president in 2025? So the fact that they're acting like Trump has nothing to do with this is completely wild to me. And you can see that it was also created by the right-wing policy place called Heritage Foundation. And if you go back and look at Trump's older tweets, you can see that back in 2018, he mentioned how the Heritage Foundation is the one that is putting his agenda together. And if you look at the people that created Project 2025, almost all of them are part of his cabinet. They're all...
Well, the main two, for sure, were appointed by him.
Yeah, and they were all connected to Trump. And I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that this was put in place for him to act on if and when he becomes president in 2025. That's why it's called Project 2025. So now he says, I know nothing about Project 2025. I have no idea who is behind it. Like that, the guy lies about everything. Dude. It's ridiculous.
He's so bad.
Oh my goodness. Let me catch up with the chat. Daniel C says, pot shop on every corner here. It's not good. Why is it not good? I mean, we don't have it here in Indiana. It's completely illegal. So.
No, I mean, there are a lot of downsides to weed shops.
What are the downsides in your opinion?
Well, the downside is you get a lot of traffic that might not really belong in a certain area. Obviously you can't put a fucking weed store next to a fucking preschool, elementary school, in sort of like a school district.
Right.
But, even if they're near some sort of like place, like a playground, stuff like that, they actually do get away with building them there and putting them up there. And it's just shady traffic, man. Shady traffic, Now, most of them, again, they'll hire security indoors and outside, to keep the place, in order. But it can definitely be bad. I know here in New York, they only approved, I think, 2 or 3 licenses for like all of Long Island.
Oh, really?
There was a few. There was more of them in like the city area or Brooklyn or Bronx, whatever. But
it's probably to know somebody.
Yeah, out here on the island, there's only one actually in the near range of me. So super hard. They just, towns are not allowing it. Again, for all sorts of reasons.
I like pot. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know how much
Bro, weed will bring this world together. If you go back, and you grew up in a time like me, right? A lot of racial violence, shit like that. A lot of hip hop stuff like that. And bro, the amount of like blacks and white people that I know would fight, and then like you just look at people that were just smoking weed together.
Yeah. And
look around like the cipher, right? We used to call it the cipher. And it'd be black dude next to a white dude next to some freaking Chinese chick. You know what I mean? Like it didn't matter, bro.
Right.
And I always said weed's gonna bring the world together. And I feel like in places that it is legal, or tolerated at least, you definitely feel that vibe a little bit more than places where it's like, ooh, you can't do that here. It's fucking 10 years in jail or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Plus, you don't get people getting locked up for just having weed. I mean, I think a lot of the people.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Drain on society, money, tax money, and it just makes no sense. For what? The only thing that gets fucking abused and assaulted from a pothead is the refrigerator. That is it. Okay. That is it. No fucking stoner out there wants to go beat their wife, okay? Right. If anything, they want to beat their wife in like Monopoly, or they want to play a video game together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just wild, bro. I love weed. I would never go up to a kid and be like, hey, you should smoke weed. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'll never steer them away from it, and I'll always tell them, stay away from coke, stay away from synthetics. It's just you don't know what people put in shit. And the thing about this world, and I think you probably understand, maybe people in chat, other people do not have your best interest. in mind ever. So just keep, you know, when you're out there buying drugs and whatever, like, you ever hear of the shit called Tussie, Bolt?
No.
So I was talking to a friend of mine, and they were talking about some crazy shit. It's like pink Coke, and it's called Tussie. It's like from like Colombia or something, and it's like a fucking like a party drug, but it's not even Coke. And everyone that takes it, and they don't think it's Coke, but it's not. It's like a fucking pink party drug, and it's got. Every time they tested it, they said it was like different things inside of it. You know?
Weird.
So, I don't know. Just smoke weed. Yeah, that's my point. Just smoke weed. It's from the earth. You know?
What scares me is the fentanyl stuff because it's so super cheap and they like put it in everything. Like, and you can die like just from taking one little tiny bit of it. And I think it's like 50 cents a pill or something. It's so cheap because they just overproduce it, and the chemicals you need to create it are really, really cheap. So that's what scares me.
Not wrong.
Yeah, I don't want my kid accidentally getting some of that or something when he's experimenting out there. Who knows? But that scares
Well,
me.
that's the beauty of legalizing it and having a weed store or having even like a medical card, right? Like,
exactly.
you know
It's
what I mean?
regulated.
You know?
WAP says, I believe Bigfoot are interdimensional. I didn't think about that. Kind of like how Paper Mario is. They are technically here and not here.
The fabrics of time.
D. Ramos says, why isn't the Hawkeye set more valuable with there being less than 600 mints each? Hawkeye set? Is that Marvel Mighties? I want to, well, maybe not Marvel Mighties. No, that's the one where you had to craft the ninja at the end. I really liked that ninja a lot. I can't remember what he's called. He starts with an S or something. But you're probably right. It might have to depend on the FA too, but because I think the FA Hawkeye is a Marvel Mighty. That might have something to do with the value. Brune88 says, yeah, but out here in California, it is irritating to take my kids to the movies. Yeah, I've noticed when I was in Las Vegas and California, like everything smelled like weed everywhere. People were smoking all the time. That would be annoying. I mean, you don't want your kid to get a contact buzz. Rob T says, don't hold it against me. I've been around Trump tons of times way back in the day. Like personally, hanging out with him.
Most kids need a contact high. Because it'll probably be better than all the Ritalin and all this other crazy fucking pills that their parents put them on.
For sure, yeah.
Because these parents can't deal with their kids nowadays. These parents can't even handle themselves and their own business on a daily basis. So they sure as hell can't take care of their kids. So you just fucking medicate them, give them an iPad, and fucking see them when you're 18, and then you can tell them to get out.
Right.
You know. It's bad parenting, really. But
apparently, Rob T used to hang out with Trump. Hopefully, it wasn't on Epstein Island. I heard he was in the Epstein documents like 69 times. If Biden was in the Epstein documents just one time, people would be talking about it nonstop. But they don't say anything about Trump being all over him. But he says he spent many decades in poker rooms and many of those Rounders years at the Trump Taj Mahal. So you probably saw Trump walking around. Yeah, I think that went out of business too. Gritty One says, I always thought Republicans wanted less government involvement. No, they say that. But whenever it comes, they say that because they want the government to spend less so that they can give more tax breaks to the rich. But whenever it comes to like controlling women's bodies, whenever it comes to controlling religion and things like that, putting the 10 Commandments in every classroom, they're all about the involvement. Only whenever it does what they want it to do. Bruin88 says, California is a community property state. After marriage, everything from then on is equal. Before or after is separate property. Yeah, I think that's how it is in Indiana. I know in Indiana, me and my wife bought a house while we were married, even though one of us paid for all of it. But whenever we got divorced, it was technically 50% hers and 50% mine, no matter who paid for it. I gave her the whole house. I was like, I don't care, I'm out. You're giving too much time to 2025. It can't happen. It conflicts with the Constitution. Bruh.
Well, that's why they rewrite. They'll say, listen, we're at a point and potentially a revolutionary point in our fucking history, man. Like, we could see no offense, you crazy fucking liberals fucking rewrite the Constitution and shit. Like, it could potentially happen. Like, we could allow this to happen. Because we'd be like, well, we don't want to hurt their feelings and tell them they can't rewrite the Constitution. That would be wrong.
The Constitution is supposed to be a living document. It's supposed to be updated. It's not like our forefathers could have predicted the internet and things like that. I mean, there needs to be things added to it from time to time.
Okay, yeah, you can amend or whatever, like add things that are based on current times, like, like inciting violence on the internet and shit like that, like stuff like that would make sense. But to go back and rewrite things and just remove things, and again, because the same way they want to remove a lot of our history, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially here in New York too. Again, anecdotal, I know, Big A, but a lot of historical figures have like schools and parks and everything else named here, and it's like, oh, gotta take down this statue. Rumor is he was a racist. Well, first of all, not even proven. Second of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the family member of this person. It's like, you just want to erase history. Like, whatever's like, whatever's weird to talk about, let's just erase it and forget about it. Life doesn't work that way.
I agree with that a little bit.
Under the rug, it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass.
If you're gonna do that, then you gotta do it for people like George Washington too, and nobody's gonna be getting rid of all the George Washington. George Washington University, George Washington Street. They're not gonna do that. But didn't he own slaves? I'm pretty sure. So
I'm sure if you didn't own slaves back then, I think you were an outcast. You know what I mean? So
but
again, you got to evolve with the times. Okay, if we sat here and say it's right that they had slaves and it's right that slavery was a thing, then that would be fucked up on our part. But I don't think we're saying that.
No.
I don't think that should be the case. But yeah, so I don't know, man. You can't just go back and just start rewriting shit and whatever.
But you're saying you can't take stuff out of the Constitution, but you got to remember that it was the whole thing about African Americans were only counted for 3/5 of a vote. That was in the Constitution. They had to remove it. So some things need to be removed because they become outdated. So I don't necessarily know that we should never remove stuff from the Constitution or add stuff to the Constitution. I think we need to add stuff like term limits for Congress. Almost everybody in the country agrees with that, but since Congress controls the rules, we never get that. Denny OC says pot shop is literally 2 blocks from a kid's school. I feel like they would have to be the same distance away from schools as liquor stores. I'm surprised that they don't. That's weird.
Because there's no, there's the regulation as to like, well, weed was illegal, but as soon as it became like legal recreationally here in New York, bro, nobody knew how to handle any of it here.
Right.
Like, oh, can you smoke weed at the beach? And like people just thinking they could fucking blaze up wherever they want, and like, even cops were like walking around. And I got buddies who were like Brooklyn cops,
Yeah.
Nobody fucking knew, bro. Like, it's fucking crazy. Just make up the rules as we go along,
It needs to be legal in the entire country federally. Then you can't have all these states doing different things. Then whenever people like you travel across state lines, you're not confused about who has the right, who has the laws and who doesn't when it comes to that. Brune88 says, that immunity for the president was already laid out in the Constitution. I think I remember you saying that last week too, and I think you're right, but I think it's a different immunity than what was ruled on, because why would the Supreme Court even take it up if it wasn't different? I have to go look at the exact immunity that you're mentioning that was already in the Constitution. What's up, News Now? Marijuana. Good conversation for you. Been talking a lot about marijuana news. Says a lot of crime people break into these places, lots of cash on hand, and everyone knows it's a cash-only business. Why would it have to be a cash-only business? People go in and out, dispensaries get robbed.
Because credit card companies and stuff won't back weed dispensaries yet.
Oh, yeah, that is a problem. I didn't even think about that. Denny OC says, I smoke, but I think decriminalize, yes. Legal distribution, no. I hear what you're saying. Decriminalize it. But then if you don't have legal distribution, that just brings up people that are drug dealers, and you don't want more drug dealers. Then you got the whole underground economy, the same way they did whenever they outlawed alcohol, and it becomes a big issue of crime. And I like regulation. News Now says homeless people and beggars know to hang out there and beg for money. That probably makes sense too. If I was stoned and I saw a beggar, I'd probably give him some money.
Yeah, they know most stoners are compassionate.
We used to skip school on 420 and go protest in Central Park by smoking mad weed. I definitely skipped school on 420 in high school.
I've probably seen you at Central Park, wherever that was. I used to do that shit too.
Oh yeah, it was probably packed. Brune88 says president has protections to carry out his executive duties that align with the Constitution. Like I said, it's got to be somewhat different than the most recent Supreme Court ruling, or else they wouldn't have ruled on it, or they wouldn't even took up the case. Then LC says they put a cap on what we can grow, so forced to buy 4 plants per house. Bro, if 4 plants ain't enough, I don't know how much a plant produces, but the fact that you can grow 4 plants is kind of nice. Maybe you need to have your grandma at her house to put another 4 at her house, then you got 8 plants. News Now says, not to mention, once you go to these pot shops regularly, there are nothing more than Walmart. They have low-quality product. You pay more than you should for crap weed, and the taxes are too much. Now, my experience was different personally. Like I said, I had some delivered to me in the hotel when I was in California and then in Vegas.
Yeah, but how much did you pay for an eighth? Because the point is, he's probably going to be like, well, I can get an eighth of some fire for like 25, maybe even 20. But how much did you pay for that 8? Because I know out there you're probably paying like what, 50, 55 plus fucking delivery.
I know one of my subscribers, I won't mention their name. I think it was,
Yeah, I wouldn't dox them.
I guess I won't dox them, but one of my subscribers sent me while I was there. He sent me some kind of coupon where I got like $40 off, so I ended up paying like 20 bucks. So
But you would have paid 60. So you know what I'm
60,
saying?
and
Like,
I think it was the 8th, or yeah, it probably was
Yeah.
the 8th. So you're probably right. But then when I was in Vegas, my man Kid Arcade hooked me up with some that he bought from a store, and both of those, the California weed and the Vegas weed, was very strong, very potent compared to what I get here in Indiana from the old dude on the corner. Big A says Vice did a special last year on Tulsi. On Tulsi, that's what Mo was talking about. It's a big in the drag community, apparently. That's why Mo knows about it. Okay.
that's why. Yeah, I got so many fucking friends in the drag.
News Now says you literally get Walmart-style customer service. Oh, they don't even have good customer service? They should let them smoke if they work there. Then they'll give you good customer service. Come on. Poor areas have shitty customer service, and rich areas don't allow them.
Bro, the weed shop over here, the guy only smokes indica. And it's like one of the most annoying fucking things on the planet. Every time I have to go in there. Because I just want to go in there and get some good sativa, get some good bud, have a little conversation about what they got that's new. And he's just fucking, he's like half asleep, dude, on his arm, falling over. Oh, sorry, bro. But he only smokes indica, and I know this because he told me, he was always trying to sell indica to me, and I'm like, bro, sativa only, man. I like that upper work weed, you know what I'm saying?
See, I still don't know the difference between indica and sativa. I just get what the dude has.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's how it was even here for a long time.
Right.
You know, it's like, I don't care what you call it, man. Just give me a fucking bag of weed, let me smoke it, you know?
Rob T says, Mo is right. It's safer now from our areas. Medical is great. Just need to drop the prices, but no more NYC sour diesel. I've heard of that.
I love some NYC sour D's. I got some jet fuel, which is a cross strain with that.
Bruin88 says, Mo, trust me, I can deal with my boys. They know what is expected of them in order to live the good life.
Yeah, because Bruin's a good parent. And this kind of goes back to what I'm saying, right? Like, that's why children shouldn't have children, and there should be some sort of parent test. But if you teach your kids right and wrong from an early age, you know, some sort of like moral compass. And I just quick backstory, like my dad, you know, we used to have a sign right as soon as you walked in my house that you could do whatever you want as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or fattening. That was always the thing in my house, right? It's a big old sign. Obviously, the last part was a joke. But the thing is, like, my dad used to let me kind of, like, guide myself through life and then kind of give me, like, a check-in every now and then. And what he always told me was, like, listen, you like staying out with your friends till 11 o'clock at night? You like going, you know, getting up whenever the hell you want, doing whatever? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, you fuck around, you're going to wind up in jail. And then guess what? They're going to tell you when to go to sleep. They're going to tell you when to wake up. So, and he even did that to me when I was really young when my uncle got locked up. He did, like, the whole scared straight thing, like, even before that was a thing.
Right.
It was, like, in the fucking 80s, man. Maybe early 90s. And I'll never forget that, bro. I went to go visit my uncle, and my dad, like, asked, I saw him, he, like, left me with my grandmother and walks off. And he comes back, bro, and there's fucking him and, like, the warden guy with the fucking, the guy that fucking walks people around, not the warden.
Right.
But, deputy guy. He like grabs me like I'm a convict all of a sudden. So I know my dad set me up to be like, yo, show this kid exactly what it would look like if he got locked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I kind of wish I had
think
more
every
structure.
parent should do that. I think every parent should do that to their kid. Like, show them exactly what the other side looks like at least once.
My kid's pretty good. I don't think he needs it, but I kind of wish somebody would have done that to me when I was a kid. I had, like, no structure at all. It was pretty much just do what you want whenever you want. And I don't think that ended up working out well for me. I mean, I graduated college, so maybe it did. I don't know. Rob T says, back in the day, yeah, Trump would always be at his casinos and have his birthday parties Marlon Maple style. I just played poker, and he'd come strolling through. Actually, I was at a casino in Mississippi, and Hugh Hefner was there. Hugh Hefner came strolling through. I was there with my girlfriend. We had to sit to the side. He had all the girls with him. It was pretty dope.
Huh. Was that during they did that fucking show?
It was about 10 years
time?
ago, so...
Oh, God, no one.
News Now says Biden should worry about his own party, not Trump. He should worry about just keep staying awake. Rob T says I passed on the dinners and the ballrooms. I don't know. I would have had to participate in that one. Big A says almost all the founding fathers had slaves, so not a stretch to say the people that owned slaves were racist. Exactly. So I mean, I understand the whole idea of getting rid of the names of buildings and statues of Confederate generals because they kind of tried to overthrow the entire country, but you can't say you're doing it because they were racist, because then you would have to get rid of all the statues and buildings of all of our founding fathers. So I would say it's more about them being part of the rebellion back then, part of the Civil War, the South. Brunetti says 27th amendment in 1992 to the Constitution of the United States. That's the last time that we've had an amendment because they made it so hard to get amendments ratified. So, I mean, now you can't get enough people to agree. Rob T says, here the towns decide who can add a dispensary, and I feel like that's a lot of payola under the table. If you got to know somebody to be able to participate in the whole legal marijuana thing, and they're making a lot of money, so if you were able to rub elbows with the right people, then it's probably paying off. Here they have an ATM machine in front of the dispensary counter, but they overcharge. Yeah, I'm sure they do overcharge, but they have to pay like taxes, they have to pay rent for their building, so it's the same reason why you have to pay extra when you go buy something at the store, when it's a real nice store compared to when you go to some cheap store like Aldi's. It's a lot cheaper because they don't have that overhead.
I fucking hate Aldi's, man. You have Aldi's there?
Yeah, I've only been like a couple times. I hate Aldi's, but I like Save-A-Lot.
Oh, I've never been to Save-A-Lot, but we had an Aldi's near my boy's house when I was staying with him, and he sends me there, dude. It felt like I was grocery shopping in like some third world fucking country.
Yeah, it does.
I was like taking things out of like fucking shipping cargo containers and... Oh my god!
There's like one person working in the whole entire store.
Yeah, dude, shit was nuts. All I wanted to do was get a bag of chocolate, and everything was like some weird ass, foreign ass fucking bags of things I couldn't even read. Dude, that shit was wild.
Bag
Never
your
going
own
back
groceries, there. Yeah. I'm not a fan either. You had to pay actually a quarter. I don't know if it's the same for y'all, but you had to pay a quarter for your shopping cart, and then whenever you put it back, you get your quarter back. This is kind of wild too.
Really? No, we don't do that. I remember that though from like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, they still do that here.
They had like a little locker thing. Yep, I remember that.
Brunetti says it's not different. They basically explained for the ignorant people that there are limits. He can't go around and threaten to just kill people. So he's talking about immunity for the president. I have to look into that to be more sure about it.
Probably smart though, because I wanted the same thing. It was like a little warning shot. Be like, hey, by the way, dumbasses, this is what could happen. So maybe it wasn't a change, just kind of like a reminder.
Right.
You know.
Greedy One says you might have actually saw him at Central Park on 420, skipping school together. Bruin88 says,
very likely.
President has to make decisions that do deal with the lives of others, and he is protected for those decisions, but it can't be done where it breaks the law. But now it can. I don't know. $40 a card, $40 Canadian for a OZ. Wait, for a whole OZ? Top shelf is about 200. Oh, so you're getting some low. Still $40. I mean, I didn't even get it that cheap back in the day. That's super cheap. Denny OC is in Indica. He likes the Indica. Rob T likes the Indica. Greedy One likes the Indica. Sour Diesel. Y'all making me jealous. Everything is hybrid now anyways, but I prefer Indica. Sativa. Sativa does have all the better flavors.
Also true, yeah.
Brunetti says, I really think most of us can sit down, have a drink with each other, talk the crap. Just don't believe everything you read or hear on the news or social media, especially these days, especially Twitter. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, be careful. Do your own research is what I always say. It's not just
don't believe anything you hear on this show from me. That's for damn sure.
Or me either. I mean, I try to back it up with screenshots and proof and stuff, but still. I'll take my sativa and mix it with my indica. That's my daytime. Shout out to Denny OC. Vault and Hugh Hef. Yes. I'll try to get his attention so we can hang out, but he ignored me. My girlfriend smacked me. Bruno88 says, grew up in Detroit, had 4...
Might be really hard to get his attention now.
Pretty hard for sure. You might be able to. You're a skeleton. Grew up in Detroit, had 4 freaking jobs, and was going to high school. It was about taking care of my family. My parents worked at Ford, family first. So your parents worked at Ford, and you're in high school, and you had 4 jobs to take care of your family. Why would you need to take care of your family that works at Ford while you're in high school? Was you already having kids in high school?
I was like a big blue-collar family. Probably like an Irish Catholic church background, you know?
There was a time when I had 4 jobs. After my divorce, I had to get money fast. I worked my butt off. Strip clubs, ATM tax, yes, exactly. If you go to a strip club, not that I know, or, I mean, I'm not going to
I had never, and I swear this, I had never, ever given $1 to a stripper. I've been to a strip club like twice in my life because I knew the bouncer and the owner.
Yeah.
But I never understood the appeal. Like, I used to go out to the clubs and bars on the way home. My boys would be like, yo, we got to make a pit stop in the industry and go to this fucking gentleman's club. I'd be like, y'all do what the fuck you want. I'm gonna smoke some weed in the car. And like back then I had like the little Nokia phone, you know? And I would just sit there and play like Snake on the phone. And it'd be like, I get out of the car, smoke a cigarette, you'd be like fucking strippers walking around. I don't know, bro. Like I never got into that fucking game, bro. Was that your thing? Like go spend the fucking weekend at the strip club getting lap dances and shit?
Well, I definitely did, like when I first became old enough. I definitely did, like one time when I became old enough, and then one time when my cousin, who I hung out with all the time, when he became old enough, I took him to one. And then after that, maybe once
It's
or
like a
twice.
rite of passage, I guess, but
It would never be
I
my
don't know,
idea.
man.
Like,
I don't get it.
If I'm hanging out with a bunch of friends and they are like, let's go to the strip club, and I might be like, all right, sure. But I'm with you. I didn't really see the appeal of it. What's the point of pretending? You know, it just feels like you're pretending.
my follow-up question was when people said they want to go to a strip club, I said, is there a pool hall attached?
Right.
Because most strip clubs have a pool hall bar, you know what I'm saying? Like attached to it most times. So if I was going to go, I would just hang out and shoot pool because that was my thing. But I don't know. Again, like I don't know your history background, but like I didn't know you growing up. But like we were chasing tail dude at like 13.
Oh yeah.
That's when we started chasing women around trying to fucking, you know, get the kisses and get, you know, all that shit. But like 15 when we started probably like banging and really just going to town on women. But I think by the time we were like able to go to strip clubs, I don't think me and my boys really gave a shit about seeing that. We were so fucking desensitized, you know what I'm saying? Because like we would just hang out with massive groups of people, dude. You know, large groups of guys, large groups of girls come by. Like it was just, it wasn't like a fucking orgy or anything, but you know, it was always like we always had like our own gathering, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I dated plenty of hot girls back before I turned 18 anyway, so it was like nothing I had never seen before, so I wasn't too worried about it. Rob T says
I love about hot girls. I dated a lot of girls, but you know,
I dated some
I'm
bad
not a
ones
good-looking
too.
guy. Yeah,
I
I'm
dated
a
some
great-looking
ugly
guy, you know,
some
but
ugly ones and some hot ones. Rob T says the strip club was always a way to get alcohol. Interesting. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah. Bro88
Really?
says private school couldn't go to Finney High. There were shootings every week. That is where we were supposed to go. We went to a private high school, Bishop Gallagher. I worked at school to help. Oh, I hear you. That's why you worked to help pay tuition. Wow. So you had to pay tuition for high school. I went to a pretty rough high school, but I mean, I wasn't too worried about it. There weren't shootings there, so I guess it wasn't that rough. Denny OC says I used to pick up my paycheck every Friday at the local strip joint. A lot of the boys would be broke before they left. Why'd you have to go to the strip joint to pick up your check? That's kind of crazy. Interesting.
that sounds like my boys that they're in their fucking coke addiction summer.
Oh,
We
yeah?
used to work landscaping, right?
Right.
And fucking dude, we get picked up in the morning. These guys already blowing rails and shit. And it would be like, you know, we get paid on Friday at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It'd be like fucking Wednesday. These guys already blew through their paycheck because our boss sold coke. So they'd be working for coke, basically getting bags like on the arm all day, every day, and be working for free by Wednesday, and then paying out of pocket and still have to go to work until Friday. Bro, it was like, it was
That was
just
a
a
smart
wild
boss.
ass shit, dude. Oh yeah, that was a very smart boss. He used to try to get me fucking hooked on coke all the time, dude.
Yeah, the only time I really ever did coke was when I worked at Jimmy John's, and my boss did it all the time. And he would, after work, he would always bring me home and be like, "Come on, let's go do a 8-ball or something." And I would be like, "Sure, why not? It's free. I don't have to pay for it." That's mainly the reason why I did it. Danielle C says that's where my boss was at the strip club. Oh, okay, smart boss. Strip clubs were always allowed to open an hour or two later than most all bars. I thought all the bars had to close at 3. Around here, everything has to close at 3, by 3.
Get out in Cali, well, northern, at least in San Fran, I think bars close at 2 or 1.
Oh, really?
It was super early because I used to get fucking pissed. I'd be like, man, fuck this shit. I'm just, you know, getting the night going and shit. We got to go home.
Yeah, we didn't used to go out till 11 or 12. That's when we started the night. So if they had to close at like 1, I would not like that at all.
I would say last call might have been 1:30.
Bruno 88 says there was 4 of us kids. Oh, wow. So you had a huge family. Delivered Detroit news every day. Worked at Mama Lacrosse, busboy, cut lawns with brother. He had landscaping jobs. So, yeah, he was doing it all. Put newspaper in those USA Today boxes on the corners at 5 a.m. Shoo. 2 a.m.
I trimmed a lot of bush in my day.
I hear that. All right, let's get into our next topic, y'all. We're going to be talking about some Web3 gaming. Before we get into our game of the day, I did want to update you on my photo finish live horses.
Yeah, I want to hear about this, man.
Yeah, I showed them on the stream. We were talking photo finish live last week. I had one horse that I named Cyclops from his mom Marvel, trying to have a Marvel theme on my stable going. And I'd run Cyclops twice, and he'd gotten a 7th place and a 10th place, so he was struggling, and I quit running him. But I decided to go ahead and run him again this week, and he broke his maiden. He got 1st place in a maiden race, which was kind of a little bit surprising to me. It was all horses. He's an A+. It was all horses that were A+ or lower. So after winning that race, I was feeling bold, and I put him into another race, which I was talking to Mo about before we started the stream, and he got last place. The problem was once I entered that race and I saw the horses he was racing against, he was racing against all S and S+ tiers. What kind of race, Mo, should I run him in next now that he's broke his maiden?
Yeah, so when you run the horse like that and you get the win, because obviously you always want to run maiden until you get the first win, and then you can't run maidens anymore. And yeah, so I'm looking at your horse here. It's exactly what happened. You ran a benchmark stakes race,
Yep.
which isn't the worst thing to do. Oh my God, this is exactly why. Like, you can't look at this race and take any data away from this. The only thing you could take away from this is that you were uninformed on the correct race to use, and you just wasted $20.
So it was called a benchmark. That's why I thought it was something that you're trying to benchmark your progress.
Right, so your benchmark, if you look at the number next to your horse, is a 59, right?
Yeah.
And if you're an allowance race, it will take the benchmarks and kind of like put weight on and off to kind of make everybody even.
Oh,
But a benchmark that doesn't say allowance will not do that. So basically, you just ran unweighted against S's and S minuses, and not only that, that was a 71 fleet figure.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was a 71. So let's say you would have ran like let's say your horse turns out to really run good at like 8 furlongs. Okay, so you put him in a 59 benchmark because he's a 59, or a 50, a 60, and he's a 59. Like 1 or 2 numbers off isn't bad, you know what I'm saying? But dude, you were like on a whole different fucking stratosphere away from competition, which again is fine. You learned, But yeah, so definitely don't do that again. If I was you with this horse, he likes 8 furlongs, So based on the stats of the parents, I'm gonna say he should be able to handle. He should be able to handle allowances. I don't know if he's gonna like handicaps. I'd probably try him in allowance first.
Okay.
Yeah, find a nice allowance at like 8 furlongs. If you want to go 7 or 9 and test it out. Allowances are pretty cheap now compared to what they used to be. So
yeah, that's why I picked the benchmark. It was only like 1,000 Derby to enter, and all the other races I was looking at was like 2,400 Derby to enter. So I was like, I'll go for the cheaper race.
Oh yeah, it's true. But some stakes races can get up to like $30-$40. Just to give you a quick example, I have 2 horses that I'm now just testing if they have the heart because they're winning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I put both of them in stakes races that ran this morning, $40 a piece. Neither one of them hit the fucking board.
Oh no.
But even with the little amount of crown that I got back, I probably lost $70. That's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Do that fucking 5-6 times a week. Now you start losing quite a bit of money. So.
Hey.
But you gotta test out how far your horse can go. But you just kind of made a little oopsie there, but not a big deal. Because again, the horse that's 69, dude. That's a pretty decent, that's a pretty solid fleet figure for an A+. So
nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to work him a little bit while I wait for my 2 S- horses to come of age to where they can race. But I'm building up my stable a little bit. Rob T says we need a Mo race call of the week. You guys need to check out Mo on Kick. He's always live streaming the photo finish live races and calling them. Also, every once a month they have the Kentucky Derby, which is always like a really well put together broadcast that Mo produces, and he calls the races, and then it has the CEO who is the host of the show. So you guys should definitely check that out. It's on the Photo Finish Live official YouTube channel. Greedy One says my first time in a strip club was after basic training at some club outside of Fort Knox. Hey, that's by me. Stripping is an experience to a good one, but it works after months of no chicks. You got to be careful which strip clubs you go to, though. We had one strip club in my college town, and we used to laugh about it. I forgot now. I went to a couple times too, because the girls were so ugly. it was the only strip club, and the girls were just. I think one of them actually had one leg. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it was more comedy than anything.
I've never tried it, but yeah, definitely nothing wrong with that.
I think her name was.
I don't know,
Eileen.
dude. It's such a weird. I mean, again, like I know people from all over the world, all walks of life, and the answer is usually different. But having such a creative outlet like I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be like video production, audio production, just comedy, improv type stuff that we used to do, like whatever, sports, I never felt like I was desperate to bust a nut,
Right.
And I actually found my friend always said I should put on a t-shirt because I said it time and time again. Like I get these chicks who would hit on me, oh, you're funny, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I have no interest, right?
Right.
If you can't make me laugh, you're never gonna make me horny. Like that was always my thing. Like I've never really been in that position where like, oh, I'll go home and fuck my couch. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care that much. Maybe that's just me, but and I know that there's definitely people out there with a different mindset. Like I got a buddy of mine, dude. This guy's. You ever see was it Chuck and Larry?
Sounds
where
familiar.
Dan Aykroyd's like, yeah, you fuck my pencil sharpener if it had a skirt on,
Yeah.
That's my boy. You know what I mean? Like this guy's on every dating app, 24 hours a day. Like if a chick hits him up at 11:30 in the morning to meet in a parking lot to blow him, like he's there.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking like that. I'm waking up, having my coffee, getting my shit together. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, but
No, I'm the same way.
and I think that's why I just never really found the whole strip club thing appealing. But I did actually hang out with a broad, really cool chick. We had a lot in common. And she hit like a rough patch in life, and she hits me up one day and she was like, so I think I'm gonna start working at this club. I almost said the name of it, and I was like, oh, all right. I'm like, wait a second, you know, a strip club? She's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And she's like, oh, thinking like I was still dating or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna. There's no way I'm fucking you now. Like, I'm not. So I don't fuck a stripper. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not my style. If you're gonna go around and just flash your shit for other people for money, I mean, you probably got a whole different set of rules you play by than some fucking stoner musician guy like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel the same way.
It's a mindset, though. It's a mindset.
All right, let's get into our game. Brune says, Mo, tell your boy to chill. Let's show our game, our Web3 game.
Dude, I've been trying. Yeah, I've been trying, man. It's hard.
I'm gonna show their trailer, and Mo, you can tell us a little bit about it.
Oh my god, where do I begin? Dude, so I'd seen this game a while back. I was following it, and then I heard it had finally come out into early access. It had an alpha going for a while. So I went, I checked it out. The land, if you want to get in, you have to own a land or an access key. The land is like $265. The access key is like 75, something like that. But the access land will give you like a bigger starter island and like all these perks, which to some people they might not care. However, this is a sandbox MMO RPG type game with crazy customization coming and like all this fucking wild shit. But as you can see on the stream, like when I first loaded in, I was like, oh, this is like, it's like Fortnite. It's actually not even Unreal Engine. It's actually Unity, which blew my mind. But yeah, so it's all about going out to the world, grinding instances of, like worlds of dungeons or islands, they call them. You know, you go out, you grind the island. Each island has like a whole different set of resources. Like if you've ever played Monster Hunter World, I don't know if you have, World or chat. If you've ever played Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter game, like every time you go to a new area, it's got like the resource that you need to build like that tier of weapon, and that's how you feel the progression. And man, this game, it scratches all the itches. So I go out, I'm out there stealth mode, you know, doing like World of Warcraft rogue type shit. They got some cool different weapons. But this was the coolest part to me. I was chopping down a tree. I went to an island so I can build my house. I'm chopping down a tree, and all of a sudden, a fucking NFT comes flying out of the tree. So money literally does grow on trees in this game. Like it falls from the sky, it falls from the heavens, it grows on trees. I chopped down the tree to get wood. And this fucking NFT chair landed. I picked it up. I went back to my island. I put it down in my house, and now it's like a decorative object that gives me like a boost to my island now. And now, depending on the island boost score and stuff like that, I can unlock different, things for the island where it comes like crafting. There's all different crafting tables, and they got farming with all cool farming, like the plots and shit you can build. They got fishing coming. Dude, I can't say enough about this game. It's probably the most addicting Web3 game I've played, and I've played a lot of them.
I tell you, it looks like World of Warcraft to me. Did you ever play World of Warcraft?
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
It's kind of what it reminds me of. Let me pull
Slash
up.
playtime, baby. Slash playtime. You know.
We're going to pull up their roadmap, and we'll look at a couple other things about the game. But, Mo, do you know the prices on it? How much do these cost?
Yeah, so, again, you can play with owning the land or the access key. The access key is $75 on the marketplace, and the land last floor price I saw was like $263 or $265. But yeah, so that's the price of admission. But I'll tell you, everything that I've said is just what the game is about. Let me tell you this. As someone who, again, play tested for Ubisoft, EA for many, many, many years, and I have had many, many development cycles change based on my feedback, this game is if you took Fortnite with Dark Souls in the combat. Now, if anybody played Dark Souls, and you understand like what a Souls roll is, and how you kind of like get in, you do your swing, heavy swing, and then you're like, oh shit, I got greedy. I went for the extra one without rolling or dodging. That's what this combat is. And holy shit, man, when you take it combined with the NFT drops, and you take it with the farming, and you take it with building your island and like your home base that people can visit. Well, I don't think they can visit yet, but it's just so cool, man. Every other game, even the games I've showed you, like the Pokemon one, the Hades type game that I've been playing, that was in beta. Those games are like little slices of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I usually play it for like a half hour or an hour, and I'm like, okay, I'll come back and do the same fucking thing, tomorrow, right? This game, I don't feel that one iota, dude. And if you put this through the social test, look at their Twitter, look at the interaction they get, join their Discord, see how many people, how active it is, man. Like, this could be something to really, really, really pay attention to.
What blockchain is it on?
No fucking idea. Because when you load it, it goes through like a launcher with big time, and I think. I don't know if but it's like a custom launcher that they had made. But everything that I did was with fiat.
Okay.
So I basically just went in and bought it with my credit card. And then I logged in with Google, like we always talk about, the beauty of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just detects my shit. So they removed any sort of like chain knowledge, the fact that I didn't really need to know what the fuck it was,
So can you buy and sell the NFTs you get on OpenSea? Do they go into your MetaMask?
No, they have they're just saying, like, all their games, like Big Time, this one, they all run through a like their launcher, their Web3 launcher, and right there it's a marketplace. So
Oh, I see. Gotcha. And then Rob T was asking, any computer specs? Do you know how much computer power you need to run the game?
I'm sure they're probably on Discord or something. I mean, it's hard for me to say because I run a pretty badass fucking rig.
Right.
But knowing games like this, knowing it runs off Unity, you're probably going to want at least like a 3060, 16 gigs of RAM, shit like that. I can't imagine. You're probably going to want like a video card with like fucking at least 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I like it.
At least.
Have you checked out the creators program? I haven't clicked on the link yet, but are they like helping out content creators who make content about the game?
Doesn't seem like it. I mean, listen, they're active, like reposting things, it seems like, but I don't know like when they're really getting into an active campaign. And if you check like YouTube, you know, it's a little disappointing because there's only like 2 guys that really make any content. I thought about trying to make some videos for it, but dude, like I'm so condescending. You know what I mean? Like it's so hard for me to make tutorial videos because I talk to people like they're fucking retarded, and it just doesn't really bode well with videos.
Right. I mean, it looks cool. It looks like I said, World of Warcraft. DNLC says it looks like Fable. Kind of does have that Fable look to it.
Able to, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Let me catch up with the chat. I see everybody's talking about dating bar girls. All right. Do y'all's thing. Let's see. Catching up.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than likely never gonna meet your wife in a bar. Like, let's just get that straight. I mean, you could. I'm not saying you
Well, in
there's no
college.
yeah, but if you meet the chick in a bar, man, like there's usually something wrong with that.
Nowadays, you meet your wife online. Pretty much everybody meets their wife on a dating website. Rob T says used to play FFXI. I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 11. Yeah. Then he says
Good game. Final Fantasy 11 was good.
I haven't played 11, but I always liked the Final Fantasy games. Married over 16 years now, never once strayed either of us. As far as you know, though, right? I can't trust these women. Just kidding, bro. Just kidding. WAP says 15 full 1G cartridges for $89 in Michigan. 1G cartridge. Is that like a weed vape? I don't think I ever had a weed vape.
Yeah, the cards.
Okay.
That's what I was carrying through fucking your neck of the woods when people were scaring the shit out of me.
I bet.
Bro, I was getting phone calls, text messages, you fucking name it, dude. Like, bro, pull over and throw them in the fucking nearest garbage. I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, fucking thing cost me a couple $100 for these fucking things. I'm like, I'm bringing these things home.
Nah.
Not to mention, I was doing like 107 through fucking Pennsylvania, fucking ripping on these things. I knew that wasn't a good idea, even at the time, but...
Yeah, I don't think they would do much to you. When I worked at the courthouse, though, I mean, I saw people still getting cases for marijuana possession, but I feel like you got to do something.
I was told for concentrate. They do not fuck around.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was told for concentrate. Yeah, they said weed. They were like weed. They might even be like, whatever. They're like concentrate for whatever reason. Like those states over by you, they are like anti. I don't know. They try to keep that shit really, really, really like banned. So
freaking red states, man. That's how it is in these red states. But all right, yeah. So if you guys want to check out that game more, there is a link down in the description to their website. And it's a pretty cool game. But let's get into crypto. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in the world of VeVe. I know most people in the chat are VeVe collectors. So let's see. The first thing is the Banksy drop. Mo, did you know they finally dropped Banksy this week?
Like a real Banksy?
Bruh, of course not. It's a fake Banksy. So it's created by a different company. I can't even remember the name of the company. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know. Brandalized, I think, is what it's called. But I think at some point the Banksy estate like sued Brandalized or complained about them putting out his art as their own. So in a way it is kind of fake, but the prices are looking pretty high. You can see the floor price I think is up to $2,500 now. You can see Sleeping Comics on the floor there. A lot of people were posting this screenshot of him selling his for so cheap. I don't think that's why they posted it, but I just think it's funny that all the Moon Boys that are all collectors at heart are always the first ones on the floor. Even My Collectibles during a recent drop that was a big drop ended up selling his for like super cheap. I think it was the first Banksy because there were 3 of them total and 2 separate drops, and he sold his for like 24, and the floor price is now like 40.
Wait, these are the current prices?
Yeah, for the
They're idiots. I mean, people still fucking paying this much money for. Holy shit!
I mean, there's 333 total editions. I think that one in the I don't know. Maybe y'all can let me know. I think the secret rare you had to craft, and I see only 2 digits, so there must have been less than that. If there was only 88 or something like that, less than 100 total editions, and I can see the price being that high. But with it being fake Banksy, to me is a no-go. I have no desire whatsoever. And I used to talk about how they're going to have that drop anytime and that I was going to be excited about it. But then when it came around, it was just kind of like, ugh, it's not even Banksy. It's not even real Banksy. Like it's not an identical copy of his art. It's their own rendition of it. So if you think about if somebody put out a collectible figurine of Mona Lisa, is that worth money because it's made off of the idea of Mona Lisa? No, nobody would care. They probably already done it. Nobody knows because nobody cares.
Yeah, I have a character named fucking Dickie Blouse, but nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Let's see what
Dickie Blouse.
Rob T says, Faux Fancy. I saw a lot of people not digging the Banksy. Yeah, collectors. That's what I was saying. Big hey. Rob T said, I think since My Collectibles works for them now, he should not be participating in Drop's conflict of interest. I don't know. It doesn't really make a difference to me either way, but I see what you're saying. It is kind of a conflict of interest because, I mean, it comes down to something like when Foster Hilt was able to get all the comics when that comics website first opened, because he certainly definitely knew what was happening when nobody else knew that you could start buying comics at this certain time.
Right, and that's the thing. And listen, I'm not saying that My Collectibles would maliciously, you know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're working for the company, this is why I couldn't work in that capacity with PFL. Right, because if let's just say they're having like a team meeting on a Thursday, right?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, blah 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 blah, and then during that meeting they're like, yeah, and so don't forget for the drop coming up, whatever, October 7th. He now has like this insider trader type information of like advanced knowledge to say, oh well, now I know that there's a crafting event coming up. Now again, would he do it? I think he's actually so morally right that he would go out of his way not to do it. You know what I mean? Probably.
I don't
But the
think
fact
so.
that he wouldn't, let's just say he would, and not, I don't know, man, but you would still have that information, and you could go and you could floor, you could buy every, item that would be used in like a crafting event that only you know about early, like.
And
there's
even
so
if he
many
knew a
ways
big
it
drop
could
was
be.
coming up, if he knew that this huge drop was going to happen in 2 weeks, then he would know not to go buy stuff on the market. Whereas
Right,
maybe
too,
if
yeah.
he didn't know about that, he would have
Yeah.
went and spent. And other people are spending money on the drop that just happened, but he knows to save it because, I mean, basically it's going to be a gem squeeze that he knows about before anybody else knows about it. So that gives you an advantage. And you're right, it seems like a conflict of interest.
And Rob T said it, and again, that was the decision I had to make. When me and Ian were talking. That's probably back when me and you was doing our stuff early on, Vault. I mean, there was a chance I was just going to leave PFL altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I wanted to work for the team,
Right.
in the capacity I was going to, like everything, I would sell my horses and move on. I could own Crown, I think, and like stake on tracks, but that's all you could do.
Shoot, I probably would have took that deal that they gave you. You told me about it when you were here. Bruni says that Banksy drop sucked. I had the MCP, was trying to get it. Sleeping was 50-50 to go for it. I tried and never got the craft button. I know a lot of people were complaining that they weren't able to craft during the Banksy drop. You had to have like 1 million MCP points. Big A says that's the one you needed. 1 mil to... Oh, MCP to craft. There was, I think, 70 available for the public. So there were 70 of the secret rares. That's the one you see at a 1,700 gem floor price. But the ultra rare, 3333, is the ultra rare. That's what you needed to craft the secret rare. Rob T says it's always been that way for collectibles. We never wanted sports card companies getting product before us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bruin88
I don't know.
said,
Again, it's almost like common sense just goes out the window in 2024. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like, let me have my cake and eat it too. Type
Right.
of shit, man. Fucking crazy.
Bruin88 says, I was so mad I tried everything you taught us on the drops, crafted, it didn't work. Just said not eligible. I have more than enough MCP. The only thing I know about crafting these days is that it seems to work better on the mobile app than the web app.
Is that true?
Yeah, because whenever it came to those black pink drops, I did all my crafting on the mobile app, and there was a lot of people that were using the web app that weren't able to craft. I was able to craft every time, even multiples sometimes. Rob T says, you want to work for the company, just get out. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Big A says, Bruin, are you in the U.S.? U.S. was restricted. Yeah, that's another thing about the Banksy drop that I didn't like. If you were in the U.S., you couldn't go for it.
Really?
Yeah, because of the license, which is kind of wild. Like, I don't even know
Now,
how they determined
did
that.
anybody use a VPN and get it? That is known?
I don't know. That kind of crossed my mind too. I don't know if you would be able to. Let's see. Danny OC says, heard even.
I highly doubt VeVe has anti-VPN security like fucking DraftKings.
Danny OC
I-
says VPN. He heard that VPN would not work to craft. I thought about that too, but I think they know me too well. If they saw me get one, they're like, yeah, he cheated. Yeah,
On mobile, I would understand if it didn't work. That I get it.
yeah.
But it's so easy to fucking fake it on a PC for a VPN.
Right.
Unless it's something like DraftKings. I don't know if you use DraftKings, but they make you install a fucking checker on the PC. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? You can't even, like, fucking get on there, so.
Oh, wow. Dang, that's some
Yeah.
high security. Big A says,
Yeah.
you only needed 1 million MCP to craft secret rare. Only 1 million? Bro, I got like 20,000 MCP. I was nowhere even close. Let's see. Big A
Big
says
A said he tried a VPN.
he tried a VPN. It didn't work. Yeah. Bruin says mobile cell phone.
Oh,
U.S.
that
for the
makes
first
sense.
drop, not the MCP drop. Gotcha.
Big A makes sense. If they tie it to your KYC location, so
Right.
if your location that you KYC from is in the USA, they don't even give you the option. Like your account's just not even like it's just flagged as not eligible. That would make sense.
That would make
But
sense.
I don't think that VeVe's smart enough to fucking, you know what I'm saying, understand your exact geolocation like DraftKings does.
Well, what if you're you KYC at your home in Michigan, northern Michigan, and then you went over the border to Canada for the
But
drop?
that's what I want to know. That's what I'm saying. Like, is there anybody that was able to try that? Because
Yeah.
geolocation, you know, and whitelist based on KYC is completely different.
Wop said he had the same issue, but he was able to join the wait list. Greedy One said, I tried to use Tunnel Bear, but I think it goes by the KYC info. Yeah, apparently so.
That would make complete sense then, yeah.
Bruin 88's a well over here with 1.8 million MCP. No, I think my MCP is wrong. I should have more than I actually have. I don't know what's wrong with it. But also, somebody was mentioning it in the chat today. The controversy in the VeVe community was that all the DC stuff on VeVe official is no longer considered FA. The FA tags have dropped off of all the DC collectibles, including Superman, first appearance Todd, all that. But then VeVe just tweeted, let me bring that back. VeVe just tweeted 3 hours ago. Oh, well, that's supposed to be on top of that. Let me move that up here. There we go. They tweeted saying, we are aware of some edition type labels are not displaying correctly, and we're working on the issue. Please stay tuned for updates, which makes it sound like it's some type of glitch.
Okay.
But why would that happen to just DC collectibles? That seems really weird. What would cause that kind of glitch? I mean, does that seem
There's a
like
lot of things. If they were updating the DC backend information that it references, you know, for the metadata or whatever,
Oh,
sure,
okay.
very well could happen. Should it happen? Probably not. And it'd be really comical if like they try to let it go as long as they can without people bringing it, you know, making an uproar again. And then they come out like a month from now and they're like, well, what actually happened was we lost a legal battle behind closed doors and we couldn't really say anything at the time. Like if that shit happens, which knowing BB it could,
That's what I was thinking.
that would be some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like if let's just say I wouldn't like not Candy or anything, but you know, some other platform was able to sue VeVe and like prove that they're not the first on the blockchain because of, again, coming from the Go chain or being, you know, migrated over to IMX. Like if that's the case and they're gonna use that, imagine that actually happened. They like, hey, by the way, your metadata is fucking wrong. It doesn't hold up. You got to remove FA. That would be crazy, dude. Is that one of the rumors?
Yeah,
that would be nuts.
That's kind of what I thought was going on there. But then when VeVe tweeted that it was just a glitch, it made me calm down a little bit. But like Big A says, it might be a good buying opportunity because Todd's and Superman's and other DC collectible prices have already dropped because of this. So it was strange to me that it was just the DC collectibles. That's why I thought, like Denny OC's talking about, that the rumor was that they had lost the ability to call those first appearances because they don't have the metadata to prove it. I mean, if it came to a court of law and you had to prove which one was first on the blockchain, what's VeVe going to do? Because their metadata from GoChain certainly is all private. You can't really prove that it was on the blockchain at the time. And the other thing that I wanted to show from the VeVe community was an update on the golden moments. Currently, only 5 of the golden moments are above retail price. Elsa's at 62, C3PO's at 62. For some reason, the Sorcerer's hat is still above retail at 83.
That's nuts, bro. Did you say Elsa is 62?
62 gems.
Like the original Elsa?
First appearance, golden moment.
Oh my god, bro.
There's like 12,000 editions, though.
I get it, but just close my eyes for a second and imagine when I first came into VeVe and found you and like remembering these prices and oh my, that's fucking crazy. Man.
I think I sold an Elsa for like 800 once at some point.
That's a swift kick in the dick on a Sunday morning with a steel toe boot, my friend.
That's exactly what it is.
My lord.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that those prices are as low as they are. However, the edition sizes are super high. Partner statues dropped all the way down to 1,400. People are saying that if partner statue ever goes under 1K, it's over with for VeVe. But I've always said that partner statue was overpriced because there's too many editions. I think 4,666, if I'm not mistaken. Another question is why they got 666 at the end of all the edition sizes for those golden moments. That's kind of weird, but yeah, that's the only 5 right now, and I think there's something like 20 22 golden moments. I'm not exactly sure how many because they had 3 different drops. Brune88 says VeVe can't do that. Would be false advertising. Everything is just dropping more and more. Yeah, because they just keep having more and more drops. You know, there's 6 drops over the next 6 days. Mo, starting on Monday all the way through Saturday, a drop every single day. It is some good stuff that they're dropping, though. They are dropping manga for the first time, Hulk 181, but there's a lot of drops. On Saturday, it's the Marvel Mighty
Captain America 1, finally?
What's that?
Captain America 1, finally?
It's coming, bro. I promise you.
Okay. All right, listen. The day it comes, we're going to have a fucking party.
Yes,
and I'm
we
going
are.
to buy, like...
We have a Hitler party.
You could throw that party. I ain't throwing that one.
Maybe not that Hitler party.
But I'll show up on stream with you and buy 10 copies. How about
For
that?
real? We're holding you to that, Mo. Whenever they drop Captain America #1, because they definitely will drop it eventually. Mo's going to buy 10 of them.
All right.
He doesn't think it's going to happen. Daniel C says, those are the points being made. Where's the metadata proof? Exactly. And whenever we asked the CEO or the founder of GoChain, he said his response was, where is it? I can't find it. Rob T says, I hit 3 of those 5 on drops. Oh, the golden moments? Hey, let's go. I got a...
Oh, my God. Conspiracy theory real quick. Real quick.
Do it.
Interject. So, DC or somebody, like, blackmail behind the scenes, went in and paid off the GoChain guy to scrub all the original VeVe data.
So like Candy.com maybe did it so that they can have the FAs?
Exactly. Right? Because if VeVe is gonna bank on GoChain, right, or even like the IMX stuff, which I know there's a lot of controversy about the validity of that as well, but
Yep.
you know, what if there was like some other platform again, I'm not gonna name it, but another platform that was like, hey, we can't go after VeVe directly, but I bet you those GoChain guys could use some money right now. That would be fucking wild, bro. That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I don't even think they'd have to do that, though, because nobody can find the GoChain information anyway, because I think they meant
That's
it on
why,
a whole
because
different...
they were paid off by DC fanboys on the back end.
Probably.
Now it's all making sense, bro. Now it's all making sense.
I can see that actually happening. The DC conspiracy. Daniel C sold his Elsa for $1,200 and regretted it at the time, but definitely do not regret it anymore. I feel bad for the people that held their Elsa. All the Moon Boys that held all their stuff that's now worth $20 each are the ones that are still bragging about how they're the smartest people in the NFT game. Rob T says 180 was rough in the streets today. 180 was rough in the streets today. What is that? Oh, you mean Hawk 180. I have not seen the prices on Hawk 180. I don't know how it's doing. I know the retail was 10 and there were 5,000 editions, and on Thursday Hawk 181 retail is 20 gems and there are 10,000 editions. I don't even think I would go for that if I was, you know, available. I'm going to be busy this week, so I can't go for the drops, but I might even skip that one even if I was going for the drops. At 20 gems each, you get the common. Common's probably going to be under retail in my opinion. I could be wrong though.
It's going to be under normal retail of $6.99.
It probably will be.
Not even under the retail of what the retail of that is. It's going to be the under the retail of normal average $6.99, which you know my feelings on that, man. Like if you believe something has value, then just put it out into the world and let the community prove the value. Like you don't need to try to brainwash people and be like, this is a good comic because you're a dummy. And by the way, this is a bad comic. Good comic, bad comic. You know what I mean?
Well, they're kind of
going
going by
weird.
They're going by physical comic collecting. If it has an important first appearance and it's worth more, so it makes sense to me that the digital version also, if it has that same first appearance, that it should be worth more than, I don't know, Hawk 134 that has nothing special about it.
Yeah, because in the real world, there's very few of these comics that exist.
True.
Especially in good copy, in good condition. You know, so I don't know, man. I just think that it's like, listen, if we're gonna say that our comics are $6.99, then every comic that comes out is going to be $6.99. Now, I don't collect real comics. Again, I was too busy playing sports, chasing at the pussy growing up. I didn't have time to read comics, but
Same.
I'm pretty sure they were all the same price when I looked at them on like the rack, right? Weren't they all like, didn't matter if you bought Spider-Man #1, it was 50 cents, and it was 50 cents, and it was 50 cents. Like, did it really matter at the time? I don't know. Maybe it did.
Not at the time when they came out, no.
Now, I know the Death of Superman was a big deal. But
Right.
that came in like a black bag, and like, because I remember I went to this place called Captain Cronies, right?
Yeah.
And this old dude, Captain Grony, guy was cool as shit. But we used to go there, get all of our sports cards, and then we started playing Magic. So we go rolling up to get our Magic cards, and there's a fucking crazy line. And we're like, what the fuck is going on here? And it was like, yeah, comic book day. Comic, like an episode of Big Bang Theory.
Right.
And we're like, fuck this. Fuck comic books. We're Magic players. So we like skip the line and walk in. And the guy actually let us, buy our packs and get out. But so I asked him, I'm like, what is this? He's like, it's like the Death of Superman. I'm like, is that a big deal? He's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, you want one? He's like, I'll sell it to you right now. So I just bought it and walked out. No idea what happened to it. I don't know if it's worth money. But
My
that
guess
was the
is
only
they probably overproduced it if it was that popular at the time. If something that's popular when it comes out, that means they're going to produce a whole lot of them, and edition size is everything. So I'm guessing, and I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing it's not worth much because they made a bunch of them.
I mean, I would think, right? But yeah, it was Death of Superman. It was in like a solid black fucking bag with like a bleeding
Oh wow.
red cover. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna have comic prices, just stick to your prices, and let the community say, okay, this comic in the real world has value, so we're gonna provide the value by not letting the floor price go. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if they're going to raise the edition sizes to 10,000, it makes more sense to me, like you said, that they have it at the regular retail price of $6.99. Yet you already added the 10,000 edition. Most comics that drop now are like 3,000 editions, some at 5,000. All the modern stuff is 1,000. So adding that edition size and jacking up retail to 20 just doesn't make a lot of sense. And you can see Denny OC says here for today's comic that dropped, Hulk 180, they jacked that price up to 10 gems and 5,000 editions, and the common is going for 2 to 3 gems.
Yep, and I actually just brought this up. So I looked up the Death of Superman sealed in a black bag. Now again, this was 1992. Okay, Rob was close. He said 93-ish. It was 1992, and again, people were touting this like it was a freaking Michael Jordan rookie card as I was sitting there, buying Magic cards.
Right.
And I don't remember what I paid for it. Again, I lost it, so it doesn't really matter. But I could buy it right now for $27.89.
And that's with the black bag sealed, right?
That's with the black bag sealed.
Right.
$27.89. So you're going to tell me I'm going to lug shit around, keep it safe, keep it pristine, tell people about it, talk about the story and the lore of the bag? No, because it probably made me like $7 over the course of 40 years or 30 years.
Right.
So I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the digital stuff I think has way more potential value, honestly, than physical. That's just my take.
Yeah. Brody says, Vault's talking about me. I never sold, but I just held because I don't want to pay taxes on them. I mean, that's a good reason to hold. If you got a whole bunch of profits and you take them out, you had to pay taxes. But then again, I'd rather have the profits and pay taxes than everything to drop 95%. Actually bought just for my boys. Never thought about selling them. And that's kind of what the smart move in the long term is just to hold stuff, because at some point you got to expect that the technology is going to catch up, and maybe the VeVe collectibles will be worth something. But what makes them worth something is the FA tag, and if they're losing the FA tags, that's not good. Rob T's talking about the black bag has some decent value still, $27. I bought the Death of Superman, bought the whole set leading up to it, like 10 or 12 comics. Let's go. And there is one more thing about VeVe. The good news, actually, is VeVe Fox put out her monthly market pulse report, and it shows that active wallets are up 14%. New wallets, there's almost 700 new wallets, up 44% from last month. Buyers are up. Let's see, buyer-seller ratio is up. Everything is up right now. I don't know exactly what it is that brought in all these new wallets. I guess
it's a buyer's market. Everything's down, so now people are going to get up to go buy the shit and pump it back up a little bit. It's kind of crazy too, because I don't really do much TA nowadays. It's depressing. But I've been addicted to spinning slots. So I was transferring money over the other night on Coinbase, and I was like, holy shit. I saw this crazy double bottom on ETH, right? And I just opened up my charts and I started looking around, and I was like, did we catch the bottom again finally? Like, did we actually get back to the bottom? And I remember I said it to you and BE, like right before that last run. Like, I was like, I'm starting to feel like that was the bottom, man. And I know, again, like a lot of people were anxious at the time too, but it just felt different, man. And again, something with this double bounce, and it happened on a lot of my tokens too. So I don't know. I hope we get the run that we need going into the summer, or out of the summer going into the election. You know, I feel like we need a real big push, and that's going to help VeVe. That's going to help PFL. It's going to help everything, top to bottom. But cream always rises, so the shit's always going to get flushed anyway, you know?
I think with the election coming up, it should cause a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a run on crypto, especially with people that expect Donald Trump to win. They think it's good for crypto, which they might be right.
But they need to talk about it. But listen, they thought the candidates were going to talk about it, and they didn't, right? So if they're not bringing it to the public's fucking attention and bringing it to the forefront of the election like it was supposed to be, right? How many times we hear about, oh, blockchain's going to take over the 2024 election and fucking revolutionize everything? How? They're not even talking about it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Again, I think that's why we saw such a drastic, dip last time. And not for nothing, because of, technology and AI and bots and shit like, what is it, fundme.net or whatever?
Pump.fund?
Pump.fund, yeah. Everything is just like a formula.
Yeah.
So what that means is that a lot of these prices are already baked in. You know what I'm saying? They're anticipating the EFTs. They're anticipating a lot of shit. So even if you think you're coming in early because the EFT hasn't hit yet, well, it's already baked into the price. So technically you're late, And it's sad but true. But yeah, I don't know, man. That double bounce was massive, and I think we could potentially see a nice little run coming up. We'll see.
Shout out to Biggest Bros in the chat. You're late, bro, but thanks for stopping by. We are just about to end the stream. We've been live since 5, so feel free to, if you get some extra time, go back and check out the Bigfoots that we showed earlier. We also went over some cool Web3 games. We talked about Photo Finish Live a little bit, talked about Project 2025, and lots of fun stuff. And strippers also. Rob T says, I don't buy that market report. Isn't that all from free Blackpink logos? Ooh. Well, it's got new wallets, though. Are those Blackpink wallets? I thought that was 2 months ago, not 1 month ago, though. So, yeah, I wasn't sure what caused the jump either. And some people were saying, I don't believe it. We got Disclosure Crypto in the house asking about Gary Network. I think he asks about Gary or Gary Network every week. Maybe I should actually check it out. I have not checked it out yet. Maybe on crypto, the crypto section next week, during next week's Tales from the Crypto, we'll check out Gary Network. It better not be a rug. He says, joke's on them. Everything's down. I got no profits to pay taxes on anyway. There you go. Looking at the bright side, I guess. Conspiracy time. Y'all notice these new accounts nobody knows coming into VeVe and buying hundreds of collectibles a day? I think it's David buying himself to help keep the project going. I heard of Bazogi Man. He came in and started buying a lot of the secret rare comics of the modern editions that only have, I don't know, like 80 editions, the modern stuff. He bought a couple of mine, actually. And there was another account that was a real big account that came in and started buying up a bunch of stuff as well. I don't remember the name of it, but I don't know if I believe it's David Yu, but who else would be coming in and spending a lot of money? I mean, it makes sense, though. You see, Bounder Yo, that's the other one, which is 2 letters away from...
Another OTC deal just getting lined up on the back end, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Do you think that's a true conspiracy? You think it's David Yu, or do you think there's just random whales coming in just out of nowhere and buying stuff up, Mo?
I think more than likely it's just someone being funny with the name. I don't think that's David Yu.
I don't think it's
David Yu is not going to do that. He's just not going to do that.
But what does Bounder Yo mean? But then again, everybody has weird names on VeVe. Yeah, I think it's probably just random whales that have seen, they looked up NFTs and they were like, Disney NFTs, the same reason we all got into it in the first place. And they're like, this is the platform I want to be on. They were probably wrong. They might end up being wrong, but I don't think it's David Yu himself. All right, Danny, thank you for hanging out with us. What's up, Ronnie Lido? Just ending the stream.
Ronnie Lido in the building.
Ronnie Lido likes to debunk all of our stuff, so I'm glad he missed the Bigfoot. He probably wouldn't have liked it. We had Bigfoot footage earlier in the stream. Next week, I'm not sure what our topics are going to be. Maybe we'll get into the Mandela effect, as someone suggested. Maybe it might be
I like that idea,
else. Yeah, we might
not actually know what the hell it is.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I always thought it was, I didn't want to say it earlier, but maybe it's funny to some people. I thought it had something to do with like some sort of event that took place during like the Clinton administration and like fucking where Nelson Mandela was. I was like, man, maybe it was like some sort of like hostage negotiation thing.
Well, that's what it started at. It started like that because a lot of people remember Nelson Mandela getting out of prison in the 1980s or the 1990s, but he didn't actually get out of prison until whatever time. So that was the whole Mandela effect. That's what started it.
So maybe that's what I had heard at some course of my lifetime, where it's like that word originated from or some shit, and that's why I thought it had something to do with that. I was like, he was like holding Americans hostage or some shit. I didn't know the detail, that's why I didn't say nothing. But now I'm looking back and like,
Yeah,
maybe we can talk about that. That'd be fun.
We definitely got to educate Mo on the Mandela effect. So that'll be our paranormal topic next week. If you have any world news or U.S. politics topics that you guys want us to cover, just let us know on Twitter or Discord. Make sure you check out Mo's Kick channel. You need to give me the link to your Kick channel so I can add it to the description, Mo. And,
I always say just put my Twitter, because a lot of times I might go live on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, so just keep in touch with me on Twitter, and you can get all the info. This was fun, man. I appreciate it as always.
Yep. Thanks, Mo, for co-hosting with me. Mo's Twitter is in the description, so you can check that out. Make sure you're following him so you know when he goes live. And we'll be back next week, every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tales from the Crypto, and we will see you next week. Thanks, Mo.
That's right.
Appreciate
see
you,
you
bro.
next Tuesday, chat.
Thanks, everybody in the chat, and we'll see you at the next one. I'll be live for Saturday's Marvel Mighties drop. We'll see you there. Later, homies. Exactly is the debate. The debate is about, are the new comics causing the Grail comics to drop in price? And I think that's obvious. I'm on the side of yes, it is.
You're still here.
I don't know. There might be a little bit more nuance to the argument. I'll have to reread it before we do the live show.
It's
before
over.
we do the Twitter space.
Go
We're coming
home.
down a little bit. We're under 100 now.
Oh, you must be
Still
expecting a
waiting for
teaser
something
for the
to
next
grab
VeVe drop. Well, we don't have that.
Might not grab anything though if I can't get
You
it.
expecting Sam Jackson show up with a
Perfectly missed
eye
out on
patch
Nuggets
and
of Gems profit by
saucy
Nuggets.
little leather. Remember?
FOMO